Good morning, Raptor Freak. Lexiot's here. It is Tuesday, and the Raptors lost in overtime to the Nuggets last night. And as a surprise, I ended up going the game at the last minute. Adriana was like, "Why don't we go to the game?" And I'm like, "All right, I guess." So I was in the building last night, and my voice is messed up. So uh, I don't know if y'all could tell over the TV, people that weren't at the game, the energy was electric last night. It was like a Friday night, not a Monday night. It was very weird. And we brought it. We brought it. Oh my gosh. I was cheering defense so loud the whole entire game. And yeah. Yeah, there were these guys that were sitting in front of me. They were Oregon fans, big fans of Chris Boucher. They were helping me. But yeah, it was a fun game. It was a very good game, and I'm not mad at it either, even if we didn't win in the end, right at the end. It was something that I've told y'all we're gonna do this year. We're gonna have games against veteran teams that have been there before and know what the hell they're doing, and inexplicably we may lose in close games like the one last night. And a lot of people are upset in Raptors fans this morning, and I think y'all are crazy. Y'all just need to chill out. They get so overreactive and they get so emotional about just the fact that we lost. I get it. I'm competitive too. I like winning too. You play me in Scrabble, you find out. Trust me. But you guys got to know everything in its right place, Raptors Nation. And if you're a Raptors fan, you should be very proud of the way the game went. I mean, not the way the game ended, but the way that the game was overall last night, because we took it to them. And I mean, I could get these glasses out and tell y'all the future's real bright, but you can see it for yourself. You can see it for yourself. The future is very bright for the Toronto Raptors. And we saw amazing level of compete out there with a team of champions. As people have said afterwards, there's four guys that start for the Nuggets that won a championship 2 years ago. So what's wrong, Raptors fans? I mean, we're playing 20-year-olds, 22-year-olds, 21-year-olds. And as of today, a 23-year-old, Jonathan Mobo, happy birthday. Yeah. What do you expect? We're young. We got to learn it. We don't have Fred. We don't have Kyle. We don't have learned players like Kawhi Leonard, Mark Gasol, Serge Ibaka. No, we have baby players that are learning the NBA, and they got to learn every little bit of how much it takes to fill up that water jug to get the right level to beat a team like the Denver Nuggets. And it may be a missed free throw here, maybe a missed layup here. It may be a blown defensive assignment here. It all adds up to the final product. We had the chances to beat them. There were a couple of layups in the last minutes of the game that could have changed things. There's Scotty's injury. Hello. Him leaving the game in the last minutes of the game and then not being available for overtime, that would have just completely drastically. I mean, there's all kinds of things we could talk about why the Raptors lost just barely last night to probably the greatest basketball player on earth right now. Seriously, let's not get it twisted. I mean, his big fat ass looking Fred Flintstone body, he's still out there doing shit. And don't get mad at Jakob. That man, listen, that man's been dropping 40 pointers and triple doubles on people since the season started. In fact, I think Nikola Jokic may be off to the hottest start of his entire career, and he has to because his team's such shit. Yeah. And boy, listen, that kid from Kitchener came out there and made that last shot at regulation to put it into overtime. That shot was so difficult that he did. He came around and underneath and flipped it up, and that could have easily not fallen. But that's also Jamal Murray, NBA champion, who's been doing some crazy scoring in this league for years. For years. I expect Jamal Murray to make a reverse layup at the buzzer to send it to overtime. I don't totally expect Grady Dick to be successful going at the basket to lay it up in a high pressure situation in the final minutes of the game to finish the game for us to win. That's not that I don't think Grady can't do it. It's just that Grady has not been tested in these scenarios. In his second year in the NBA, his first year starting, And, it's I gotta keep telling y'all, it's an escalator at the mall. And in some ways, Denver may have stepped off the escalator a little bit as they were at the top and they kind of went down a floor, but we're still a bit lower in the mall as far as coming up the stairs to where their level is. And that's just how it is. We're getting there fast, though. Wasn't it nice to see RJ back? It's very pleasing, pleasing to see Rowan Barrett Jr. back on the court. Yeah, and being at the game, I saw a lot. I saw a lot up close. I saw a lot. All right, let me do the comments. We'll get into it. My voice may be a little weird because I was yelling a lot last night, just so y'all know. Bryce Lawson's first in the house today. Bryce, how's the weather in Kentucky? And I hope you're doing very well, my man. Let's see what he's saying. I'm so glad Oshai is playing well. I needed this from him. I believed and he delivered. I know him and Grady's shots will be lower down the road once the injured returns. But man, he's grown as a hooper. Yeah. Yeah, he's one of my 3 stars of the game last night. I only have 3 stars, and Oshai is one of them for sure. Yeah, the thing about Oshai, man, I really love when he goes to the basket right now. Don't you, Bryce? I think it's really fun because he's going in there and he's finishing with people all around him with the physical force that's making him successful still. And once again, I'll call that Kansas Oshai. Primary way that he scored for Kansas when he was in college was going to the basket with strength and force and going up against a defense and making sure that ball went in, whether it was a dunk or a very fancy loop-to-loop layup. Yeah. Yeah, Oshai's been fantastic, and he's even starting to hit his corner three more. He hit a few of them last night, and that's a very pleasant sight to see for a Raptors fan. Abaji bombing from outside. Of course, Abaji's going to do things on the defensive end also that will get overlooked by many Raptors fans. So that's why, and I'm giving him premium uh, consideration for a star of the game because I know that the stat line's good. If he's doing good on offense, I know he's doing good things on defense also. Yeah, Bryce, I'm proud of Oshai too. And honestly, I don't know if I saw this coming after his summer league. I'm telling you. And I'm really, really pleased. Nako is here. Gerald is here. He's holding it down in the 905 for us. Jerry, how are you this morning? Good to see you. Lordy, 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 Lordy. Do competitive losses sting? I don't know. Why is this sting, Gerald? Why are you so upset about this? Don't you understand? I mean, being in the building and feeling the energy and feeling how things were going. Yeah, I want to tell you right now, Jerry, there's about 500 different ways the Raptors could have won this game still last night, and that just didn't happen. In some ways, that is a testament to Michael Malone, the son of the original Raptors coach, Brendan Malone. That's a testament to Nikola Jokic, the great Serbian. In fact, he had some very nice things to say about our coach after the game. And this is for all the haters of Darko that are out there calling for his firing because of last night. You're idiots. Let's just put it that way. Nikola Jokic on Countryman Darko Rajakovic. He's a great person. You can see how he's motivating his players. They're playing really aggressive. They're using their strengths and they're trying to hide their weaknesses. I think they have a really good future. Now, who am I going to listen to about Darko Rajakovic? Some Joe Schmo in social media for the Raptors somewhere on Tinder, on Twitter, or on Facebook or Instagram? Or I'm going to listen to the MVP, multi-MVP of the league in the past and a world champion, Nikola Jokic. I mean, I know he's going to try and say something good for him because they're countrymen and stuff like that, but still, Jokic is not really that kind of guy that just says shit for the hell of it. Seriously, this guy is like, yeah, you've seen how he is in press conferences. He's kind of like a big kid. And sometimes he'll let you know when he's not really into something or he's like not so serious about things. And you say this comment, and honestly, what he's saying is true, y'all. This guy is getting a lot out of our guys, and we do have a bright future. So everybody, all the people on YouTube writing in the comments about firing Darko. Darko's just a development coach, an assistant coach. He's not a head coach. Shut the fuck up is what I'm going to say right now. Because listen, in some ways, the things that happened last night, there's multiple reasons why the Raptors didn't end up with the W right at the end. and we're gonna go over them here because that's what we do on this channel. But yeah, I love that Jokic said nice things about Darko after the game, and rightfully so. You know, Jokic is amazing. Watching him out there last night, I kind of got mad because they kept leaving him open for three. At first, I said, "Yeah, let him shoot those," but he was on, so he was making them, and I was like, "Ah, damn, maybe go out there and guard him." There were a lot of threes that the Nuggets shot that we really didn't respect, and we kind of got burned for that by the end of the game. There were times where we left shooters open on the outside, and we probably shouldn't have. And specifically, probably Jokic, Christian Brune, maybe Aaron Gordon, shit like that. Yeah, there's a lot in this game. We had a lot of excitement. There was a protester, there was a fight, there was an injury to Scott. There was some really cool heroics by RJ Barrett in different places, but not exactly. We'll talk about the last part of the game too. Obviously, with RJ's decision to take a three like that, and whether I supported what he did there, we'll talk about all that. Yeah, yeah. So Gerald, you think it was Oshai, Scotty, and RJ that were your stars of the game? Those aren't bad stars of the game, Gerald. But I'll go ahead and do mine right now. My number one star of the game is Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes did a couple different things last night that was beautiful. Scotty was taking the high percentage stuff to the lane. And honestly, he was in a very difficult environment with a couple of long Nuggets players in there with Jokic and Porter and Gordon. And he was once again being very measured and smart, taking his time, banking it off the backboard when he had to. And he was very, very successful down low. He even mixed in a three-pointer here, and he had some very Magic Johnson type kind of passes also. Scotty had a big block in the last couple minutes of the game also. That was really emphatic and very much something that really made a difference. Now, I'm going to say this right now. Scotty doesn't leave the game. We win that game last night because in some ways, when we were struggling to get layups in the overtime and in the last minute of the game to just get one more point than them, Davion Mitchell missing a free throw. There was another Raptor player that missed a free throw in the end there. Scotty missed 2 free throws last night. There's all kinds of different alternate universes where the Raptors do come out on top in this game last night, but it wasn't to be. And the lessons are there, and the Nuggets get their first win of the season. Nuggets fans are in some ways not really celebrating right now. They're scared. They're scared right now because honestly, they are not supposed to go to the hilt with Raptors in a game like this and just barely beat them in overtime by 1 basket. They're not. They're scared as hell. This is like, this is fucked up. What is going on with our team? Seriously. And a lot of Raptors fans that are upset because their win or all nothing. Okay, Ricky Bobby, just chill out. Come on. Listen, we have to take our learning experiences. We have such a low average age of our team right now, maybe the lowest in the whole entire history of the 30 years of Raptors basketball, that we've got to understand these are young guys learning the lessons of how much and how difficult it is to win the NBA. In fact, in some ways, I'm glad things went this way because if things are too easy for you when you start your journey like this, you don't put in the right hard work over the whole course of the journey to build yourself into the right kind of player. So in some ways, I'm glad in some ways they lost last night. Seriously. Because it just showed them this is how fucking dangerous NBA teams are to snatch games from you and seagull them away from you like a French fry while you're sitting at the beach and you weren't paying attention. That's what I'm saying. In some ways they needed to know. Yeah, don't rest on your laurels. Don't feel like you're good with 10-point lead and 2 minutes to go. No. You got to be ready to hold them off, and you got to be ready to execute when you need to make sure you make it. Make sure you get that win. That's right. I should read what Jakob said after the game last night on his Facebook because it's very apropos. In some ways, the knowledge of the veteran Jakob Pertl can be very insightful to what he sees as what happened in the game and why it went down the way. He's saying this. Overtime Niederlage gegen die Nuggets in einem guten Spiel von uns konnten wir Leader einen Siegwestlichen Vorsprung nicht Vet. All right, never mind. All right, I'll read it in English. Overtime loss to the Denver Nuggets. We played a good game, but couldn't secure the win in regular time after being up by double digits. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. You have to secure the win. And in some ways, the Raptors didn't secure the win. In fact, they let the Nuggets score so much near the end of the game. Like it was Jokic, a lot of it, but Murray was his part too. That that's the thing, to secure the win, it's not easy. That's what I was saying. Keep that double digit lead all game, and they did for the most of the game. They had a good lead over them. It was 8 points, 10 points, right around there. And then in some ways, I loved just like cruising above them for most of the game and kind of holding them down. That was good workout for the young Raptors. Oh, let's work out those muscles. You got to hold down a good Western Conference team. Well, maybe not good anymore, but used to be, and hold them off. And then when it gets all crazy at the end with different crazy stuff happening, you need to be able to go through that pressure cooker and still come out and get the W on your side at the end. I mean, that's the lesson last night, y'all. Y'all did a good job holding down the Nuggets for majority of the game. And that may be why some of the Raptors fans are so pissed off, because they saw the victory the whole game and then they didn't get it at the end. It's kind of like false advertising. It's kind of like, you fucking told me this thing was going to do this with this product, but it's shit. It doesn't do nothing to help me with what I wanted to get done. This, I don't know. Let's make up something stupid. This crazy binoculars. I don't know. I can't see through them. I don't know. I'm just making up off the top of my head. I think that's why people are more upset, is that they really were convinced we are going to win. And that's why people get upset about that. So, yeah. All right. I said I was going to do my stars of the game, didn't I? I said Scotty was my star of the game. 9 of 19 from the field before he got hurt. 1 of 3 from 3. That 3 was really nice. He was wide open. They dared him, and he took it. And it was at a key moment late in the game. The 2 for 4 at the free throw line did come back to haunt us. In some ways, Scott, that's a lesson you still need to learn, and the rest of the Raptors too. In fact, I want to go down the list and say Davion Mitchell's late free throw miss obviously was glaring, but he was 3 for 4, and he did hit 2 later when they really counted. But that one that did stand out, and I'm sure some Raptors fans are pointing at Mitchell for missing that free throw. But that was just one free throw. And some people get mad at the free throw shooting for the Raptors last night, but they shot 81%, y'all. It's not like they didn't shoot well. They only missed 4 free throws. And so you blaming making your free throws and why they lost. Well, honestly, they shot a really nice percentage, and there's going to be some missed free throws. You can't be exactly, I mean, you can, but it's tough. Oshai missed one of the free throws also. So, that is a place where Scotty could have been better. Scotty just missing out on a triple-double last night. In fact, I was really rooting for him to get that last assist so that he could get another triple-double, because I like it when Scott gets triple-doubles. 21 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, 5 steals. And in some ways, that's the thing that I even got more impressed with Scott, was the defensive end last night was in full effect along with the offensive end. And Scotty was being very, very powerful on the defensive end just as much as he was taking it to them on the offensive end down low. Man, he's evolving in front of us. And this is kind of what I was hoping would start happening with Barnes right now, is that he's becoming more and more the guy who wants to control the game and be that clutch guy. And he's not shying away from it. And then we saw, obviously, RJ's ready to be the clutch guy too, because of some of the stuff he was doing last night. So we may be in good shape very soon. One of the problems the Raptors have had in the last 5 years since the championship was finding that clutch guy who's going to step up in the last couple minutes of game and take over and carry us and score some heavy baskets in very high pressure situations. And, I don't want to critique anybody who was just on our team in the last couple of years, but I will say this: Scotty and RJ look way more prepared and able, and I'll bet you IQ is too, to do this kind of work and be very successful and consistent with it. And that's very, very good harbinger. That is a very, very good forecasting, because that'll mean we will win the close games when we have more experience. And that's going to be badass, guys. I'm telling you right now. He even got a block. He did have 4 turnovers, 21 points in 35 minutes. And you know what? He might have got that extra assist. He might have got closer to 30 points if he had not been elbowed in the eye by Nikola Jokic on a rebound play, fell to the ground. And honestly, that play actually made us lose the game right there because we went back the other way on the court and it was 4-on-5. And the Nuggets scored an easy basket. And what did they win by? 2 points. So I'm just saying, even if Scott was hurt and he couldn't get up, well, what the fuck are we supposed to do? But that is the point where we could have won the game because Scott was still on his feet and he came back and we were 5-on-5. I mean, we can say all kinds of different places where we lost. Yeah, where we just barely lost, just very barely lost. That's one of them. My second star of the game yesterday is Pirtle. Pirtle, some people always say, like, well, how can you give a star to Pirtle? Jokic destroyed us. Yeah, but don't you understand? He does this to everyone. And in some ways, Pirtle did what he could. There were times where actually really stymied Nikola and did not allow him to do what he wanted to do, bumped him, did all kinds. He was annoying. I'm sure he was annoying the hell out of Nikola Jokic last night. And in some ways, Pirtle managed to do pretty good for himself, getting 19 rebounds, y'all. Jakob Pirtle got one of his career best rebounding games last night. 16 points, 19 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, 7 of 13 shooting. And he didn't miss a free throw. He was 2 for 2. And in fact, he's getting lauded for his excellent free throw shooting so far this season after being a 50% free throw shooter his whole entire NBA career up until now. So yeah, Pirtle's my second star. He was out there working his ass off. And honestly, who's going to do well against Nikola Jokic in this league? He does this to everyone. And you see how he bumps people with his Fred Flintstone belly. He bumps them and he's like slippery and he spins and he does this and does that. In fact, it looked like he traveled on one of the last baskets he made, honestly. James Capers and them want to look the other way, even though it looks like Nikola Jokic is out there moonwalking like Michael Jackson. That's what I'm saying. In some ways, he's getting favor in certain ways out there. And he is a dirty player in some ways. A lot of those guys were dirty last night. Aaron Gordon, very dirty. Yeah. And so was Nikola. Nikola in particular looked like a dirty player out there, especially with the elbow to Scott. That was kind of a hit out. Like if I looked at the replay, I did. And Nikola struck out like this towards Scotty, and that's how he hit him in the eye. As RJ called it, he got bowed. That's what he said in the press conference afterwards. Yeah, Scotty got bowed in the eye, and the reporter's like, "What? What is that?" He said, "Got bowed, elbowed." That's the insider speak. You don't understand, non-NBA player. You got bowed, okay? That's the official term. But yeah, there's a lot in this game. It's kind of one of the craziest games I've ever been to, honestly. And also kind of one of the funnest. Even though we lost, it was very fun to go to the game with Adriana. And I never get spontaneous like this. And this is something she does. She brings spontaneity out in my life, which is crazy. The third star is Ochai Agbaji. Agbaji came off the bench, guys. And the thing I like about this is Agbaji had the same level of production whether a starter or a bench guy. And that's great. In some ways, there's been so many talk about different people being a starter or a bench person. Gary Trent Jr. primarily in the last couple of years. That it's very nice to see Agbaji if he just gets a section of minutes in the game that he's going to produce consistent like he did as a starter to start the season with RJ out, and then he goes to the bench last night and he still gets 15 points on 6 of 12 shooting, so he's shot 50%, which is fantastic. Because last year he did not shoot very well. And so far in the games of the season, he shot extremely well. Very, very well. 2 for 5. There was 2 corner threes that he threw in there. He did miss a free throw, and I am going to give him crap about that. 3 offensive rebounds, 7 total, a steal and a block, a -5 with 15 points. Yeah, I just liked Agbaji's game in a lot of different ways. Some people be saying, well, why didn't you make RJ one of the players of the games, Lex? Well, because RJ, he had too many turnovers, and he also kind of RJ. Well, no, he didn't have too many turnovers. It was more because he shot so much. And I'm gonna say this: RJ, he was trying to force too much his own stuff at times, and I have no problem with RJ at the end of overtime. I think that shot he took with 3.5 seconds to go that was far out. First of all, it was ballsy. and it shows something good. In some ways, you want players that are wanting to take that shot and they're not scared. Because honestly, that shot could have gone in. That whole like crazy. But some people say, why do you shoot it with so much time on the clock still? Well, actually, look what happened afterwards. Grady and Yaka both got shot attempts off offensive rebounds. And that's kind of why you want to shoot it not right at the buzzer. Because if you shoot it and you miss, but your guy's there to tip it in, then we win. But if you wait until like a second on the clock, there's no tip in because the buzzer goes off. So he shot at the right time, casuals who said, oh, he shot too early. But, and this is the other crazy thing. This is how lucky the fucking Nuggets are. Either one of those tip-ins by Pirtle or Grady right there at the end, if they had gone in, we win. Well, I mean, we tie. We tied this game up, and we go further. But, man, I'm telling you, there's a lot of different places where if it's just a little bit different, the outcome is on the Raptors side. The outcome is on the Raptors side. All right, let me go and continue with the chat. Trevor J is here, the commissioner of fun for this channel. Trevor, thank you for all you do for this channel, including the classic card of the day, which will be coming up in just a little bit. Before you speak, make sure what you are about to say is more meaningful than silence. Yeah, I wish we could have this rule on social media. Before you speak, motherfuckers, in the comment section, let's make sure what you're saying is meaningful or even worthwhile. So just keep your dumbass comments to yourself. In fact, don't even read that shit. There's so much bullshit online with so much crap. And this year, with the Raptors team being in the state it is in, well, there's going to be extra bullshit and crap in social media comments in all kinds of different places. Listen, you all don't need to know. If you watch the Raptors Freak every morning at 9:30 a.m., well, you can find out the educated opinions of what is going on instead of just feeling with your feelings. Oh, we lost, so I hate the team. Lashing out. I hate Darko. I hate RJ. I hate Jakob. Lashing out. You little babies. Oh, they lost, so I feel something in my ego, so I'm mad at them. Nah, don't get it twisted. I don't. I've got a crazy ego. I mean, I get up every morning and talk about the Raptors every day, and I just expect people to watch me, which happens. But I don't have an ego in the place where I'm tied into the Raptors, where I'm so mad because they lost by 2 points in overtime to the Denver Nuggets last night. No, I can see it for what it is, and I can detach my ego from this. But some very unconscious people can't. Oh, I'm affiliated with the Raptors, and they just lost to the Nuggets in overtime, humiliating, and I'm mad at them. So I'm going to talk shit about my own team. That's so abusive. That's like an abusive relationship. Why you do that to them? You love the team or you don't? Oh, honey, I love you. Oh, come on, Scotty and Jonathan. Come on back. I love you. Come on back. No, be nice to them and stop like kicking them when they're down. Seriously, that's what I got to say about this. Lots of positives from last night. If some people can't see them, is what I'll say right there. Trevor saying we was eating those nuggets real good. We was eating them nuggets real good. We had that 20-pack open. We had barbecue. We had honey mustard. Until the referees have to come and put their footprint to stop us from eating the food. You know, that's not untrue at all. I mean, Ref Report is undefeated, isn't it, guys? I told y'all about James Capers Jr. I told you about him. Aaron Smith was nice at times, very diplomatic. Sheree, she was feisty. She was okay for the most part. But James Capers, yeah. You know, he's an interesting guy. I watched in the arena before the game, how many different players come up to him and hug him and pal around with him. I saw Garrett Temple talk to him for about 5 minutes, and they're real close. Garrett Temple and James Capers are cool. Davion Mitchell, palling around with James Capers too. And of course, the other side's palling around with him too. You know, that's just something that happens before the game. The players will come and touch base with the different refs and say, hey, how you doing? And if they're friends, because they've known each other for 17 years, like Garrett Temple's known him, well, that can go a long way, guys. But for some reason, I'm going to guess this, y'all. I'm going to call this out. I may sound like a conspiracy theorist. I may sound like, a quack or crazy, but I think this is exactly true. And it's evidenced by what happened. They're not respecting Scotty and RJ and putting them on the line. Neither one of them. In some ways, how the fuck does RJ Barrett not get a single damn free throw attempt in a game like how he played last night? That's what I got to say right there. James Capers, Did you see RJ come up to you near the end of the game and tap his head like this? He said, he hit me in the back of the head when I took that last layup attempt, and you didn't fucking call shit. That's the thing. I don't understand that at all. RJ wasn't trying to get a fine after the game in the press conference, but this did come up. And the reporter's saying, I don't want to get you in trouble, but you went to the basket 21 times with force trying to lay it up, and you didn't take a single free throw shot last season. He's like, I know. I don't know. Was he getting that shit in New York? Is it just because he's on this side of the border now, James Capers? Were you giving him free throws when he was wearing orange and blue? Because that's what I'm wondering about, motherfucker. That's what I don't like, James Capers. In some ways, I still believe the Jordan rules kind of bullshit, the bulletin points the referees get. And that there may very well be in that little referee room they sit in the downstairs while they're waiting to come out. Let's review what's going on, Sheree. Okay, James. Oh, I see. Adam Silver does not want to let us call any fouls for RJ Barrett because they know he's going to be going to the basket and he's going to deserve calls. But listen, don't call them for RJ. Well, if James Capers has the job from the front office to not call any free throws for RJ Barrett and he executes it flawlessly, that's what it looks like to me. I mean, they did do this shit before. They say, all right, LeBron never gets fouls on him. We need him in the game because he's TV, he's money. Michael Jordan never gets fouls in the game because we need him out there on the court. But they can do the inverse too, y'all. You can say, all right, we don't respect Scotty Barnes or RJ Barrett because they play for the Raptors and they are not getting free throw calls. I mean, we've seen this with the Raptors for years, honestly. Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, all these guys had not gotten the proper calls with physicality going to the basket. You're not going to tell me that RJ Barrett going to the basket ain't getting fouled and doesn't shoot a single damn free throw, James Capers Jr. And that's what I'm saying right there. That's a big reason why we lost right there because RJ should have been on the line at least. I don't know. He probably should have had 8 free throws last night. And, well, we lost by 2. That's what I'm saying. In some ways, they don't bail us out with – they do this at the end of the game for them, though. Did you notice? The Jokic is going to the line or somebody else is going to the line at the end of the game. The Nuggets are getting contact fouls at the end of the game, and they're getting bailed out with extra points to try and catch up. Meanwhile, like Aaron Gordon in particular, honestly, he was getting a lot of free throws at the end of the game. But then we're at the other end, and Grady's going to the basket, and he's getting hit, and there's no call. That shit is the way the refs manipulated the game last night to help the Nuggets have the door open to walk through to try and win that game. And I'll call them out on that. I say, look, this is not fair and balanced refereeing if RJ Barrett does not get a single damn free throw. You watch the same game as me. You've seen what he's fucking doing out there. How the fuck does he not shoot one single damn free throw? Ref manipulation. Yeah. And I called it earlier in the day. I said, James Capers is not a friend of the Raptors. And there's bullshit around James Capers. And, well, we saw how it manifested last night in that way. That's right. There you go. Trevor's saying Raptors are going to be a problem, NBA. Look out, they're coming. Some people are saying this morning. When IQ gets healthy, when we get Jacoby Walter, when Kelly Olynyk shows back up, when the Raptors are full strength, they're going to be a problem, is what they're saying. I just hope we don't get in this weird, this guy's out, this guy comes back, this guy's out, this guy comes back, because I'm waiting to hear what happened with Scott. In some ways, I'm very worried about Scotty in his eye, getting a bowed in the face by Nikola Jokic. I hope this guy doesn't have a concussion. This could be a problem. This could mean he might be missing the Charlotte game. Will we ever get the full complement of barbecue? Or will it always be BB or BQ or just B? That's the problem. In some ways, we want to see this at our full strength and see just how badass we can be. But, man, if these guys keep going in and out of the lineup because of different injuries at different times, it'll be real hard to see them together. I hope we do get that. I hope we do get a nice long stretch. You know, every motherfucker out there calling him Softy Barnes this morning, fuck you. Personally, from me, a Florida man, just like my man Scott, fuck you. If you were saying Softy Barnes this morning, fuck you. You have no idea the licks and the pain and the things that Scotty Barnes goes through to play basketball for you, motherfucker, and you call him Softy. No. None of that. No. That's right. Trevor's saying the Dodgers are one win away from winning the World Series, y'all. Wow. All right. I'm not paying attention to any of this shit. I don't care. In some ways, thank you for the update. The title, where is Mrs. New York? He hides. Mrs. New York? Oh, you mean Milbester? I don't know. I don't care. In some ways, I'm glad Milbester ain't in here filling up things about the Knicks and Dominican Republic and World Baseball Classic and all that bullshit he be coming in here with. I don't need it. Like, don't be doing this. They had Beetlejuice at halftime or one of the dance breaks. They had a lady out there with the green hair, and they were doing a Beetlejuice tribute. The dance, the North Side crew, they were out there. And yeah, we don't want to say Milbester's name 3 times and then he comes out just like Beetlejuice. No, let's just stop right here. And if Milbester's here, hey, Milbester, how you doing, Nick Streak? But otherwise, Trevor, well, just he's not here because you want to give it to him about the Yankees. Is that what you want to do, Trevor? You're like, oh, Milbester, I wish you were here because I want to razz you about being down 3-0 in the World Series, the Bronx Bombers. Yeah, I love this. Listen, it just proves my point. You buy World Series championships in baseball. Then you buy Ohtani on a crazy contract. You swindle the Blue Jays and all the Canadian fans with some crazy swerve. And then he goes and signs some crazy ass contract that's loaded in some timing with we'll pay you the $1 this year and we'll pay you $100 million in 5 years from now. I don't know what the fuck that Dodgers contract with Ohtani is, but boy, is it paying off already because they're about to win a championship this year. Yeah. Hey, that's what the MLB is. Buy your championships. I've always thought that about baseball. The great heydays of the New York Yankees were all bought in the 2000s. I really do believe that. Seriously. Monique is here. And Mo, I'm sorry I didn't come see you at the game last night, but it was very impromptu. And in some ways, I just wanted to spend the time with Adriana. But I know you were there and your presence was felt. That's right. Good morning, Raptor Free crew. We always put up a fight, but I'll say this. I hated the rotation going into the fourth and overtime. I don't know. I kind of get with what you're saying. There were a couple lineups that Darko put out there later in the game that I was like, man, we don't have enough of a primary scorer. It may be that there was a lineup out there where there was neither RJ or Scotty on the court, and it didn't look right exactly. I can see kind of what you're saying, Mo. In some ways, I mean, I don't want to. Once again, there's so many people saying bullshit about Darko. I really hesitate to even start talking trash about him in any kind of way. But I will say that there were times where I felt like the lineup could have been a little bit more able to do scoring in certain ways. You get out there with like Pirtle, Boucher, and Abaji, and Shed and Mobo or something like that. That's a lineup that may not have the right kind of safety valve on offense for somebody to go and score all of a sudden. But yeah, I mean, I can kind of see what you're saying. And there was like at least one moment where I was saying, I don't like this lineup out there. So, I'm in agreement with you, but not to the point where I'm overreacting. And I know you're not either. You're just bringing up a point. I appreciate you being here, Mo. A late night. I didn't get back here till after midnight. And I didn't go to sleep till 4 a.m., guys. So I'm doing this on like 3 hours sleep right now. So this is a weird one. This is the first time I ever went to a Raptors game while I've been living way the hell out of town now. And I'm a little bit sleep deprived and my voice is shot right now. In some ways it's sounding okay, but it's very raw and for good reason. That's right. Smooth is saying, man, this game was a gut punch, stealing a defeat from the jaws of victory. I like that term. That sounds exactly right. Stealing defeat from the jaws of victory. Well, we could look at it from our perspective, or we could look at it from the Denver perspective. And that's a team that's desperate. That's a team that knows they're in fucking trouble this year. That's a team that knows they may not even make the playoffs this year, honestly. And they lost 2 games already. And then they came here, and then I don't know what they expected against us. Well, they got a fight, and they got their ass kicked for most of the game. So listen, when you got championship guys, 4 of the championship players from that team starting still, they have some pride, and they want to try and right their season, and they're going to do whatever they can at whatever cost, whether it's elbowing Scotty in the eye, whether it's getting after it and making a crazy reverse layup underneath the basket to tie it up to put it in overtime. I wish that the Nuggets hadn't shot so well last night. In fact, the first 2 games of their season, they had not shot well at all. And, last night they shot 49%, which is way better. They were shooting like around 30 to 40%. Now they shot almost 50% last night. And in particular, Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. From the degenerate Porter family. And I did let him know last night, seriously. There was one free throw that Michael Porter shot towards our end of the court because I was down on the end line, not too far up from Brian Macon. And I yelled Jonte at him, and he missed the free throw. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. I think that in some ways is getting a little get back for Raptors Nation for that degenerate family's bullshit. And yeah, yelling Jonte and Michael Porter Jr. when he missed the free throw was very pleasing to me. I'm not gonna lie, it was very nice. But both Porter and Gordon shot 50%, and in the first two games of the season for the Nuggets, these guys were absolute shit. They were shooting like 4 for 28 and shit like that. So that's a difference. Also, a big difference in this game. Christian Brune really impressed me in some ways. He has an athleticism to him, kind of like Grady. Him and Grady are similar in that way, but he has hops. Like that dude gets up. And there was that one play. There was a Jayhawk on Jayhawk crime when he blocked Grady. And yeah, there was some smack talk going on there. There was some smack. Jamal and RJ also Team Canada teammates. So there was some really interesting dynamics on the court with the matchups of obviously Joker and Jakob are a very interesting matchup also, and they've battled each other for years now. So there was a lot of very interesting jawing and friendly competition, not really like hateful or mad at each other because Jamal and RJ obviously love each other, and so do Christian and Grady. So it was an interesting game from that standpoint. Russell Westbrook, you're an asshole. He was actually dirty too. And that play where he hit Scott in the air was so fucked up. And I don't blame Scott for getting up and coming after them and talking trash. And then Aaron Gordon, his punk ass, pulling a Kyle Lowry #2 with Scotty Barnes. Yeah, we've seen this action from you, you big goof, you big hippie, ganja smoking idiot. Yeah. Yeah. And fuck, man, he wasn't even involved in the play and he was just trying to stand for Russell Westbrook, who did an absolute dirty play. And James Capers, thank you for going to the replay and upgrading it to a flagrant. That was the right call. In some ways, that was a moment where I was going to be watching James Capers Jr. for fucking us over and saying that was a normal play, normal call. But no, he had to consult the replay center last night. And who was sitting in the replay center last night? Bill Kennedy. That's right. Our guy Bill told him, now, James, you're going to have to call a flagrant on that one because that was obviously flagrant. But Bill, come on, man. I want to screw over the Raptors. No, James, I'm in the replay center. I have to tell you, flagrant foul. Scotty Barnes, 2 free throws, and the ball for the Raptors. And Tony Brothers is sitting back there next to Bill Kennedy in the replay center just smiling. Yeah, that's the right one, Billy. That's the right one. I don't know. I'm just envisioning the referee's world here, but that, there's a lot to this game. Russell Westbrook, fuck you, is what I'm going to say right here. Yeah, fuck you, Russell Westbrook, and fuck you, Aaron Gordon, and fuck you, Michael Porter Jr. How about that? All three of y'all. All three of y'all, fuck you, Aaron Gordon, Russell Westbrook, and you know what? Nicola, too, for the elbow to Scotty's eye. Fuck you, too, for that one. There were a lot of Denver fans in the crowd, specifically Jokic. A lot of Serbian people in Toronto, and they treat the Denver Nuggets game in Toronto as Serbian Heritage Night, and they come down there and they infest they weren't very happy for most of the game. They were very quiet, being mousy. They were sitting near me. And then at the end, they got all like uppity and kind of like, oh, yeah, see, we won. Yeah. Fuck you, Nuggets fans. You came to the Scotiabank Arena last night and cheered Jokic and his dirty Fred Flintstone type playing. Yeah, fuck you guys too. How about that? All y'all that came down there. Now, people are wondering about the protester. What the hell was that? Did y'all see it on TV? Because we were on the other end of the court away from the protesters, so see the sign. So, but they came and got them very quick. And I love that it happened when the Nuggets were going into transition, not when us. So that was good timing, protester. If you'd messed up a fast break for the Raptors, I would have been pissed. But you messed up a fast break for Nuggets. So good job, protester. What was the protester protesting? Well, we found out. They were protesting for animal rights. It was another PETA kind of person They came out with a poster board and stood there for a second. And ACC, Scotiabank Security, got out there quick and got them out. And they were very humane to the person. They just kind of walked them out. They didn't do anything like brutal or wrong. It was interesting. Now, that person will never, ever be allowed to go into the arena ever again. And I mean, I hope you got your message across. In some ways, I stand with you, honestly. If you're standing for animal rights and protecting animals, I'm getting more and more like that as I live out here in nature with the squirrels and the birds. And I'm like, man, why are we destroying this natural world? It's so beautiful. We're idiots for some made up idea of this. This isn't real, but the bird that sits in my bird feeder is. And yeah, so I stand with that person out there. Some people start booing the protester when they came out. Boo, boo. I was like, I ain't booing. I want to know what the sign says because I may be with them. And I did boo them. And then when I found out afterwards, like I was with them. I had thought that the sign was because of the war in Israel over there right now in Palestine. There was somebody who got thrown out of a Raptors game recently for wearing a Palestine hat. Some Jewish fan pointed them out and got them thrown out. I think that's really fucked up, Raptors and MLSE, if you did do that. That may not be the whole story, but there is a clip that's going on around right now where a fan got thrown out for having a Palestine flag on his hat. And the Jewish fan was pointed out saying, that's the guy who told them to throw me out because of my hat. So maybe they were arguing or talking trash because of the really awful genocide that's going on over in Palestine right now. And I thought that might be why the protester came out with the sign, because that has been a recent to-do at the arena in recent games. But no, it was PETA. It was PETA. Just like at Minnesota, when the protesters went out there and chained themselves to the hoop. And they wouldn't leave because they were protesting Tyson Foods, which is owned by the same owner. The owner that owns the Timberwolves owns Tyson Foods also. And they were out there protesting nuggets. Yeah, yeah. Aha, you see how I tied it up into that. All right, let me keep going in the chat here. Let's see. Smooth saying, I agree with the end of the overtime play, though. Let RJ try and win the game. Denver was in scramble mode. D was not set. Yeah, that's the other thing they argue. It's like, all right, did RJ shoot it too soon? Did Darko not mess up by not calling the timeout and setting the play? RJ said after the game, he said, I don't think any player in this league likes the timeout and stopping the play. They want to just go and try and get it, because in some ways it's much more fun to have the open court and the ability to kind of get them before they're set. You call the timeout, they're set, and you have to go into them with their five already at the end of the court, and it's just not a good opportunity. And that's the philosophy that was echoed by both Darko and RJ after the game, that they valued being able to come in transition on the fly, keep them on their heels, and try and get them. And I mean, that's a testament to Darko's belief and RJ's ability to do something smart without instruction to try and win the game. And also the enthusiasm of the players is saying, you know what, we always hate the timeout where they get the set. We'd rather just try and play through and do what we did last night. So, that's that whole situation of that. Some people are being critical and say, why didn't our Darko call a timeout and set up the play? Woulda, coulda, shoulda, motherfuckers. There's so many people out there armchair quarterbacking Darko on every little thing. And in some ways, it's not worth it. It is what it is. Listen, if y'all were the coach and you went out there, you would make thousands more of mistakes left and right because you don't know what the fuck you're doing if you're an NBA coach. I don't care if you coach college. I don't care if you coach a high school. You don't know how the fuck to run the Raptors in the NBA like Darko does. In some ways, he's built so much up and put foundations in and understanding his players and giving roles and doing things like getting them all ready that you would never understand or be able to do. So that let's not get it twisted. People that always second guess Darko and what he did and stuff like that. Well, if you did the job in his place, I probably could point to 1,000 more different problems with what you were doing out there than what our coach is doing right now. So, I mean, seriously, who the fuck are you to understand at a fast-paced game? I've coached games before, and it's hard because it's a lot going on. You have to take a lot in all at once, and you have to be supremely analytical at that time at the same time. Comments and answer them at the same time. That's not easy either. And in some ways, that's like using different parts of your brain at the same time and getting it all organized and getting it out there in the right way. That's hard. It's hard. He's got to watch a lot, and he's got to be locked in, and he's got to pay a lot of attention, and he's got to try and direct and message to people the right kind of messages in the right places at the right time during the whole thing of it. Yeah, I'm telling you, half these people that say shit about Darko, you would flounder. You would be such a huge failure. You're nowhere near this. So why the fuck are you telling him how to do his job? That's what I'm wondering right now. Why the fuck are you telling him how to do his job? You don't know how to do his job, so don't try and tell him how to do his job, is what I say to people. Yeah, I think he did a fantastic job last night. We just missed. And once again, we've got to sometimes give credit to the excellence and greatness of the other side. And the other side is Nikola Jokic, for Pete's sake. Jesus Christ. Nikola Jokic, y'all. Come on now. He's dropping 40 or triple doubles on everybody right now. Everybody's getting 40 from him. Everybody. That's right. Trevor J saying, hope Scotty's injury isn't that serious. That would be another setback. Yeah. Yeah. It's on Jonathan Mobo's birthday. Let's hope that Jonathan goes and he blows out the candle and he says, I wish Scotty doesn't get hurt too bad. That would be a great birthday wish for your best friend, J Mo. Is just put that. It's like put the cake in front of Jonathan and say, Jonathan, make a birthday wish. Okay. Scotty's back. We're playing Charlotte. Yeah, that's what I hope too, man. That's what I hope too. The 905, very active in the last 2 days, guys. 905 started their training camp yesterday, and they came out with their training camp roster. In fact, we signed Charlie Brown yesterday, guys. I came back last night, and I was like, the 905 have signed Charlie Brown Jr., guys. But yeah, I have updated the spreadsheet, and Charlie Brown's not on there yet. But we have 16 players on the regular roster for the 905. And then we have our 905 eligible guys from the team and the two ways. And once again, I'll share this link. I've updated the spreadsheet from yesterday, even more so. Thank you, Blake Murphy, for your information. And everybody out there that's putting this stuff out there. If you want to go look at it, there's some intriguing stuff on there. We've got a guy named Chris Vaught, who's out of Wisconsin. He's 7 foot. He's 250 pounds. He's a center. And I like this idea of keeping him on the 905 because I like some height. Brandon Carlson is confirmed to be on the 905, guys. We did not lose Brandon Carlson. He will be playing for us. Dylan Disu, Quincy Guerriere, also back on the 905. Kennedy Chandler. And then there's some tryout guys like Devontae Bandu, who's Canadian. He's a Canadian guy. Tyreek Key, Evan Gilliard, and Charlie Pride, and then, of course, Vance Jackson Jr., and now Charlie Brown. So we got Charlie Pride and Charlie Brown on the 905 right now. Have to make cuts. They're going to have to cut at least 4 players off of their 905 roster. So in training camp this week, they're going to work them out and see how they do, and there will be some cuts made. Oh, it's raining outside. Now, there's media this morning already. The Raptors players that played last night, Jonathan Mobo and Jamison Battle, are already out at Mississauga doing media stuff right now, interviews and media day kind of stuff. So they had an early morning. They played an overtime game last night, and now they're up bright and early on Jonathan's birthday doing pictures there. And Jonathan is there, y'all, just so y'all know. Mobo is in that 905 jersey down there, and he will be playing for them, obviously. This is usually a sign like this. Now, we know Jacoby Walter got assigned to them also, and he will be – and this is the reasoning that I've heard. Jacoby Walter assigned to 905 because the Raptors are going to be playing a lot of games in the near future, and there won't be a lot of practice time. And in some ways, there's going to be tons of practice time with the 905 crew because they're in training camp, and this is the best way to ramp up Jacoby Walter and get him more ready to come into the lineup for the Raptors. Is if he's around the Raptors, he's not going to get the reps or the time in the right way because there's games going on. And in some ways, Darko don't want to put him in just in the middle of the Laker game on Friday night just to start his career. He wants him to go and get ramped up with the 905 in practice during training camp. So Jacoby will be down there at Mississauga getting his legs under him before he returns to the Raptors main roster and makes his NBA debut. But yeah, very, very interesting stuff going on around Mississauga. They're starting to ramp up and get their things going. Of course, the players on our team that are eligible to play for 905 are Jonathan Mobo, Jamal Shed, Jacoby Walter, Grady Dick, and Oshai Abaji. Now, Abaji in his third year now, he could play for 905 still. He's still eligible. But I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think either Grady or Abaji will play on 905 this season. The only way they play down there is if it's like an injury assignment coming back from an injury to just ramp up to come in, kind of like what Jacoby's doing. I think Jacoby would do good being on the 905 for a while, but he may not. I don't know. We don't know enough about what Jacoby is at. And in some ways, maybe it'll hurt him like Grady got hurt with it last year, or maybe it will be very good for him. I want to see what Jacoby's at first. In some ways, I think he may be better off going down to 905 for a while. He's not exactly the same kind of player as Grady as far as like how his mentality is a baller and he's like a multi-level scorer. So he may be able to uh, do very well in the G League ecosystem. Grady got kind of a target put on him last year. The team that we had was not a team that was like together in the right way as far as supportive of each other and their successes. And Grady was froze out by teammates when he was on 905 last fall. And that was the big problem with it. And of course, he did his time there. He went through it. He learned some lessons. And you know what? He was better for it by the end of the year. And that's the important thing. And that's why I would say people don't get mad if Jacoby Walter is going to be on 905 for a bit this year, because you see how much it helped Grady and accelerated his development as a rookie last year. And that's what I say about that. Of course, there's the three two-ways: DJ Carton, Ulrich Shamshay, and Jamison Battle. But yeah, there's going to be a lot going on with the 905 and training camp this week. So keep your social media on them and checking out the fun that they're doing over there. There's like Jonathan Mobo's playing like some sort of weird hoppy game, like a Mario Brothers game where he has to yell to make the character jump or something. There's weird content out there. You can check it out. It's crazy. Crazy. That's right. Let's keep going. Monica's saying, give me more Oshai, please. Wow. Is he ever focused? Happy for the kid. Yeah, I like it. I like it because he's been kind of an X factor for us, like a question mark. Will he be panning out? Will he get better? Will he do this better? Will he shoot his threes better? And it looks like all that stuff is starting to happen. And he's got a certain confidence to him. And there's certain things about Oshai that can be very, very promising down the road. I really like our look when RJ's playing with us because there's a certain different swagger of competition and anger and trying to play with force and coming at them. And it's nice to have more than just Scott or more just quickly. Having full barbecue on the court will make the Raptors really, really good. And some of the things about it is that they fit really well together. And Oshai and Grady fit really well with them, as does Jakob too. It's like Barrett, Barnes, and Quickly are very like complementary next to each other because of their different powers. And that's the thing that we have to understand, Raptors fans. We have not had the full barbecue table of food yet. And we got to wait until we get all the dishes on the table, because when we have all those dishes together and you put them on the plate, they taste good together. They really do. And that's why I want to see that IQ dish out there with Barrett and Barnes at the same time and in a high level game against a high level opponent. Hopefully this will happen in the very near future. I really do hope so. RJ was managing his shoulder really well last night. It was interesting to see in the game live what they were doing to him. They made him put on this big black sleeve whenever he came off the court, and he sat with it on there. RJ said it was so fun to come back and play. He's like, this is just fun. He said it was a great other than the outcome. But yeah, I saw where his dad and his mom were sitting behind the Raptors bench, Roland Barrett Sr. And Bobby Webster was schmoozing some friends of his right in front of them before the game, sitting out there looking all slick in his suit. Yeah, you see this stuff in the arena. You see all kinds of interesting stuff that's not on camera because you're just sitting there. Yeah. Smooth saying foul on Scotty getting elbowed in the eye. RJ getting mugged in the lane every time and no call. Grady getting fouled on that fast break. Yeah. Those were all very true, Smooth. And I agree with you. That's why I hate James Capers. That's why I hate him. Because honestly, he is a company man for the NBA. Obviously, his father was a referee for 30 years before his 30 years. So that's what I'm saying. 60 years of Capers refereeing in the NBA. And that's what I'm saying. That's an institutionalized guy. That's a guy who very much is probably in the deep inner circle of Adam Silver's NBA and like what they are trying to do with what they're trying to do. And well, if one of the key points on that talking point is hold the Raptors down because we don't need another championship in there like 2019. Well, James Capers is part of that person on the front line making sure that doesn't happen. And that's what I'm saying. In some ways, everything you said there is true. Call anything. Scotty's on the floor. And that's when Darko's yelling at the refs and say, my player's on the floor. They're playing 4-on-5. How the hell do you not call a foul? I mean, you didn't totally respect the Russell Westbrook dirty play when Scott was in the air. That was very dangerous, by the way, when Russell took Scotty's arms. And that's why it was flagrant, because he didn't even go for the ball. He just grabbed his arm and ripped him around in the air while he's up in the air. So dangerous. And Scotty's reaction was the right kind of way. Now, Scotty did have some emotional outbursts at different times that weren't helpful, but for the most part, he was on point with what he was doing out there as far as talking to the refs. Bryce is saying, good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Injuries suck, man. I hope Scotty's okay. We fought hard. We had some awesome plays. Our rookies are giving us high energy and smart basketball. The only thing stopping us is injury. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a couple things stopping us. Injury, we can't blame that. It's next man up mentality. Whoever's available, we got to go out there and give our best effort. And yeah, after the game, we lose. Yeah, we could have done better if we had IQ. Yeah, we can do that kind of stuff. But no, let's not get it twisted. The reason why we lost last night is experience versus inexperience. And that's the biggest difference between the Nuggets and us, is that they have a lot of experience. They're savvy. Jamal Murray and Jokic know exactly how much it takes to beat a team. And we don't exactly, because we had not taken care of the little things to ensure and secure the win. And that's the difference right there. It's experience. And anybody who's thinking, oh, it's the coach, oh, it's this, it's that. No, it's experience. Our team is very young, and they have to learn these tough lessons. This is just like when I was a kid and I watched the Orlando Magic as an expansion team in 1989, and they had to go through the same kind of shit. They had to go through, okay, we got to learn. This is a close game. We're going to lose, even though we probably should have won, but we dropped the ball and fumbled it. Well, this is what all teams that are rebuilding and learning with a new core go through, casual Raptors fans. So everybody is so pissed off. Don't expect shit like when we had Fred and Pascal and OG, because those dudes were vets and they knew what they were doing. Our guys are very green and young. Some of them are older and know what they're doing, like RJ, and there's certain levels of things they can do. But a lot of them are rookies or second-year players. And that is what we have to keep remembering when we're critiquing this Raptors team this year. That's what we got to do. If we had Scotty, we win that game. Yeah, I'll say that right there. We had Scotty, James Capers referees more fairly. Yeah, these things are what we win off of. We make one of the layups that Grady or RJ tried to make and late in the game, we win. Yeah, we make a free throw before regulation's over, we win by 1 point. Yeah. There's all kinds of different outcomes and ways that we actually would have won that game. That universe didn't permit that at this time. And that's why these guys need to know just how hard to win the NBA against teams and how much you have to do things perfectly and as best as you can. You really do. You really, really do. Monique saying, much love, Scotty, thinking of you. That's right. We're going to send those healing positive vibes. And please, Mobo, birthday wish your friend back. I think you'll be all right. Looking at it from the situation, I didn't even see when it happened. It's just that at some point, the guy in front of me was saying, hey, you got hit in the eye. You got hit in the eye. And then I saw Scotty holding his eye and kind of stumbling out the court to the back. And then we never saw him again for the rest of the night. I was like, this sucks. In some ways, it's very similar to the Scott Foster hit job in Denver against them. This is twice now that we've had close games with the Nuggets that we should have won, but Scotty's absence actually really factored into why we lost. This is the same thing. Scott Foster, you're a cheater. You're out of here, Scotty. You're out. 2 texts right in a row. Real quick. You're out because you called me a cheater. You're cheating. Y'all quit cheating. And then Scott Foster, tech, 2 in a row. You're out, Scott. And that totally made us lose that game against Denver. And it really kind of submarined our season that year too at the same time, because Scott Foster got all in his feelings about being a corrupt criminal ass motherfucker as a referee. Well, what if Scotty was telling the truth? Thou dost protest too much, Scott Foster. If you are innocent, why do you get so upset and double text Scott out of the game if you're so touchy? If you were not cheating, if you were not a corrupt ass Tim Donaghy cohort, Why would you would not react so strongly? He's, "Oh, Scotty, that's funny. You think I cheat?" I don't cheat. You think I could be in the league this long if I was a cheater? No, Scott Foster, you give yourself away when you have such a hair trigger to call 2 technicals on Scotty Barnes and throw him out in Denver when we played against them 2 years ago. Yeah, this is the same kind of scenario. Scotty being in the game could have been a huge factor to help us win both those games. Both those games. And the absence of Scott was felt. That's right. That's right. The absence of that was that. Carlos here. Good to see Carlos Santino. Another great game again. We're going to be the next OKC team. I like that. See, that's a positive take. We see a young, burgeoning Oklahoma City team with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and it's exciting to watch. And they have a lot of promise, and they're upstarts, and they're coming up. Yeah, I like this. I like this analogy, and I hope it's true. I really do. I think it could be. I think it could be. We got some good ones, man. People really like Jamal Shed. We got rookie rankings, guys. The rookie rankings came out, and they're fantastic. I'm not gonna lie, they're very fantastic. We got all right. First of all, Yves Missy is the number one rookie ranked right now, but Jonathan Mobo's number two, and that's not just his number. Number two is number two, y'all. He's number two in the rookie rankings right now. Jonathan Mobo. It's not even Shed. It's not Battle. It's Mobo. Mobo is ranked number second best rookie in the league right now. And this is the rankings that did the rankings during the FIBA. This is very analytical. There's no biases. They're not trying to hide this. Of course, we're not seeing the Raptors mentioned in any of the kind of rookie talk on ESPN. Fuck you, ESPN, by the way. But yeah, Mobo number two, and number three is Jamison Battle. So 2 out of the top 3 rookies in the rookie rankings right now are Raptors. Now Shed, he's all the way down at 11. He's not in the top 10, but he's, and then maybe because of, I don't know exactly the parameters of what they're analyzing for the rookie rankings. I think it's per PER, or also maybe there's assist to turnover ratio that may be in there. There may be some field goal percentage that's factored in there also. But yeah, having 3 rookies in the top 12 rookies right now to start the season, in some ways that's impressive, but some people are just going to diss it and say the rookies this year suck so bad. Obviously, if there's Raptors in the top 5. But Mobo, happy birthday. You're number 2 rookie in the whole entire league after Yves Missy. That's pretty damn cool. That's pretty damn cool right there. Yeah, let's see. Smooth saying, hopefully we win the Charlotte game and the Lakers on Friday. The Lakers game will be like a road game. More than half the arena will be in Lakers purple and gold. Typical Toronto BS. Yeah, it'll be similar to last night. Although the Nuggets fans, the Jokic fans, they were all right. And obviously most of them were Serbian. You could tell. You could tell. I wonder if those people like our coach too. That's what I wonder, since he's Serbian also. But yeah, you're exactly right. Especially this year, because I'm not gonna lie, Raptors fans are a little ho-hum with their enthusiasm, because this year is not necessarily a winning year. And that's why I was so proud. I came down there, and this always happens. I start the game off with the defense chants right away. And at times I was the only thing you could hear in the arena, me yelling defense, and people around me looking at me like, who's that guy being so loud in our section? Fuck you, all you people that look at me when I am yelling defense and all y'all are shutting the fuck up. Seriously, I'm going to say that again. Fuck all y'all trying to look at me and shame me. Oh, don't be like him, Johnny. Oh, why, Dad? Because he's a loud guy. No, be like me, Johnny. Fuck your dad. And go ahead and fucking get loud when you come to the Raptors game. That's what I'm saying. Seriously. They'd be like, not even the organist playing. I'd be yelling defense because they're all sleeping. Defense! Defense! And y'all probably heard me. Seriously. That's what happens, because it'd be quiet in the arena and I'm the only motherfucker making any noise. I feel like they know I'm there sometimes. I'm on every morning. They probably know what my face looks like at this point. They maybe like looked up there. It's like Jack and Matt are getting the game ready. Oh, look, there's Raptor Streak. Raptor Streak's up in the crowd. I see he's here. One of these guys on the bench, maybe Scotty saw me at some point. Oh, Raptor Streak. Raptor Streak's here. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm bringing that energy, and that building had energy to it. When y'all were watching it last night, did you feel the energy in the building from the fans? That's part of how it gets amped up, and it gets so crazy in a close game in overtime like that. And that's what I want all of y'all that go to games this year to mimic me, to go down there and be just as crazy as me and not scared to get loud as fuck, even if people are shaming you with little looks to the side. Don't be worried about what they think. Do it for your team, because that's our role. Their role is to get the defensive rebounds and make their free throws and their shots. Our role is to get down there and get loud and help them with our energy and cheering them on. And it does help. Trust me. You hear defense, defense. These dudes go after it. And there were some amazing defensive plays by our players last night in different ways. So that's what I say. Don't be old school Canadian fan, especially in the lower bowl. Y'all buying it for just to be seen as status. No, go down there as a real fan and get loud on the lower bowl like I did last night. They will hear you. Trust me. They will hear you. Even especially if you're the one, they will hear you. That's right. That's right. That's why I have a on my throat right now because I used it. In some ways, they're sore from playing. RJ's saying after the game, we'll see how I feel tomorrow after taking all the licks. But I loved every minute of it. I had so much fun playing. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. We'll see how my throat feels tomorrow after I go out there and do my part physically to help the Raptors. That's how I look at it. In some ways, you going to be a fan and show up and help them is what I say. Yeah. But on Friday, it will be a very condensed lot of LeBron and Laker fans. Obviously, it's a hot ticket because it's the Bron and Bronny show, and people are going to want to see that shit. In some ways, this is even bigger than the regular Laker visit because of Bronny and that bullshit. Yeah. So, yeah, I fully expect what you're saying. Typical Toronto BS with all the Lakers fans in Toronto coming down the game. And in some ways, theirs started really well. They finally lost the Suns last night, which was nice. But they've started so well, Lakers fans are a little feeling big in their britches. And in some ways, they haven't felt like that a lot in the last couple of years. Mickey Mouse Championship, sure. But most of the time, they're like, our team sucks. I'm in hell. We're not in the playoffs. You know, that kind of shit for them right now. So they're going to come down there and they're going to be annoying. Trust me. And then we'll play the Sacramento Kings on Saturday and retire Vince's jersey. So it's very busy, hectic schedule. And then guess what? We're going to Denver on Monday. So we'll see Nuggets again next Monday. 2 Mondays in a row playing the Nuggets. And hopefully we can get a little bit of revenge. In some ways, my confidence in their arena, and the last time we went there and that shit I was talking about with Scott Foster earlier, yeah, we'll see who the refs are on next Monday. And that'll tell you what's up. Yeah, Monique's saying keep it at it, Grady. Yeah, let's do the rest of the box score with the Raptors. It's the guys that didn't get stars. Davion Mitchell was a mixed bag. In some ways, I really liked some of the stuff he did offensively. He stepped up 16 points last night, 3 of 6 shooting from the three, 5 of 10, 3 of 4 at the free throw line. That one free throw did stand out, and a lot of people groaned because it was a very clutch time, and it was very consequential as far as allowing for overtime. And I know he beat himself up over that. 6 assists, 4 turnovers. That's not the best assist to turnover ratio. But 2 rebounds and a block also for Davion Mitchell. He got a block. I don't know how that guy gets a block. 16 points in 35 minutes. You know, Davion will admit that, like, he had too many turnovers last night and that he wants to have something, do better in that kind of way. So he's thinking about this. In some ways, people are right with this. And some people in social media are coming out saying Davion Mitchell is not a starting point guard. He is actually a very good backup point guard. I think they may be right to an extent. And it's partly because, I don't know, in some ways I may waffle on this, but right now it seems like because he's not consistent in giving you scoring every night, he did last, it may be that you can't count on him to be the starter. And he is really just kind of holding the spot for Quickly while he's out. But Davion in his interview last night saying, I've been very blessed to be able to have the best of both worlds of playing with the backups team, the bench, and the starters already in my early Raptors career. And that's good. That's good because he gets to know everybody. RJ was very interesting in his game last night. 9 of 21, 2 of 6 from 3, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, 5 fouls, 20 points, a -3 in 29 minutes. Yeah, I love what RJ was doing out there. He was a bucket. He was taking it to them. He was making some really impressive layups and shots. But once again, the biggest story about RJ is where the fuck are the free throws, James Capers? Seriously. And we can talk about that last shot. I just love RJ being such an alpha and wanting to control the game and doing the things he does. He came out hot on fire. He had 9 points in the first 3 minutes of the game. And I was like, damn, he's just like in preseason, where he got like 17 points in like 12 minutes or something like that, 14 points in 12 minutes, something like that. But yeah, RJ's impressing me. He has the heart of a champion. and the will of like an elephant or something. I don't know. I'm just saying shit like that. But I just feel like RJ's a badass. Grady Dick, speaking of Grady Dick, since Monique brought him, 5 for 13, 2 of 7 from three, 3 for 3 at the free throw line, 1 rebound, 4 assists, a block, and 15 points. As I said, Grady kind of had that back and forth with Christian, who's a friend of his from college. And, the Christian blocked the hell out of Grady. It was kind of actually embarrassing. And then Grady kind of got some get back at him at the other end. So there was a little bit of that back and forth between those two guys. And yeah, Grady, listen, Grady is still a work in progress. He can be so impressive with some of his shots. He got a very nice shooter's roll last night, was reminiscent of Kawhi's 4 bounce. Um, we've got to understand he can be so impressive in moments, but to think that he can consistently do this for huge amounts of the game, you got to understand he has to be measured out and kind of uh, lowered expectations for consistently playing at a very high level in this kind of way. He is a shooter, and sometimes his shots are just not going to go in. So, but he's doing fantastic, and I think he was pretty good last night. And but in some ways, he could have stepped up and been a hero in certain moments in big ways. Now, some of the stuff he did late in the game was absolutely fantastic to help us, and he was showing some clutch. But he didn't make the layups and the overtime that he was getting the chances to do. And that's what I'm talking about, guys. He's got to learn, and he'll learn more and more exactly how much it takes to execute in high pressure situations in the NBA and end of game situations against top teams. It's very different. Chris Boucher, just out there for a moment. The guys in front of me were big fans of Oregon, and Andrew and Brody. That's where their names are. They said they're going to sub up to the channel, so I say, all right, I'll shout you guys out in the morning. But yeah, they were there specifically to see Chris Boucher and watch him, and they were talking about Dylan Brooks and Peyton Pritchard and Oregon stuff. And I started talking about Gary Payton. Uh, Gary Payton, I think he was Oregon State, though. I'm not totally sure. But anyway, Boucher, 2 for 6, missed both his 3-pointers, 3 rebounds, 1 block, 4 points. Just a good spot duty in there, some energy added, but not a big game for Chris. Jamison Battle, 1 for 3, missed both his 3-point shots, made 2 points off the free throw line, 1 rebound, 1 block, 4 points. He continues to surprise me with his blocks and his defensive stuff. Jamison Battle, obviously, is a good 3-point shooter, but the defensive stuff and the rebounding stuff he's giving is a very pleasant surprise for sure. Jonathan, on the eve of his birthday, 1 for 2 with 14 minutes on the court. He made all 4 of his free throws, and I'm very proud of the West Palm Beach product, Jonathan Mobo, for showing the wisdom and the time to take to make his free throws and make sure they went in. That was really, really good. 4 for 4. He got more free. He got the same. He got more free throws than he got the same amount of free throws as Scotty, and that's kind of crazy to me. 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 6 points. He was a +2. Only 3 of our guys were pluses in the plus minus as Boucher, Battle, and Mobo. Shed, 4 for 8. I love that 50% shooting. 1 rebound, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover. So we had a 5-to-1 turnover ratio, and that's pretty damn good. That's way, way better. Shed was very good last night. 8 points. And then DJ Carton came in for a hot cup of coffee just for a second. Hardly did anything in the game, but he was in there just to hold ship for that little bit of time. So he's saying, prove me wrong, please, about the Lakers and the crowd coming. No, you're exactly right. I wanted to be wrong, but these people already bought the tickets. And in some ways, they have more motivation to come to this game than Raptors fans because of Bron and Bronny. Let's just say, they got to understand these Lakers fans that love, and also LeBron fans. They're not just Laker fans. They're LeBron fans that have been following him from Miami to Cleveland to here to the Lakers. And they will be showing up too because they know the clock is ticking on their guy. And there may not be very many more opportunities to see LeBron James play an NBA game in Toronto because he may be retiring in the year's future. So that's another reason why there should be a very much not as much of a home advantage for us. Although, if Raptors fans come down there and they just are louder overall, we can overpower them. In some ways, it's not really totally easy to cheer for the opposing team in the opposing arena unless you're an. But you know, that beat them. I was really sure we could beat the Lakers before the season started, but now that what I'm seeing what's going on with them, we this is gonna be a fight. This is gonna be a fight. In fact, this Nuggets game may have been easier to win than the one that's on Friday night that we got coming up. Nako's saying, I think Scotty's out for a week. There's worse injury to get. A lot of good stuff. This was not a good win for the Nuggets. Yeah, it wasn't. They can't be too proud of it. But also, they got some relief and they got their first win of the season. And that is something that Nuggets fans needed. But no, like I said, they're not feeling that great about things. And I'm sure Michael Malone's not like celebrating with them the way that they won last night. Seriously. He's not happy about it, I'm sure. Michael Malone having a comment about his dad and his part in the 30th anniversary of the Raptors, being our original coach. He was talking about his dad and, coming to the game, the first Raptors game at Skydome when we beat the New Jersey, and just talking about memories of his dad being the coach of the team and how much he loved being the coach of the Raptors and wishing that he could have continued to be our coach and helping to build us after, he had to leave after 1 year because of different issues. But yeah, that's kind of cool. In some ways, we're celebrating our 30th anniversary. There's all kinds of different aspects. In fact, Popeye Jones, assistant coach for the Denver Nuggets, was visiting with a lot of the Raptors broadcasting crew before the game and kind of saying hi and waving everybody. They didn't really do any alumni stuff while we were there last night. There was nobody in the crowd except for Argos. There were two Argo players that they put on blast on the Jumbotron. But they didn't have, like, they could have shown Popeye Jones, but maybe they didn't want to do that. Also, they honored Jamal Murray for his Olympic stuff this summer for Canada, but they did it in before even and I think they did it before they even announced the starting lineups. So they did it way before the game. And in some ways that worked way better than the first time out in the middle of the game, honoring the opposing team's player. I like that y'all did that way in games ops, that you did the Murray, I keep calling him Mitchell, like the Murray honoring of his Olympic stuff before the game even started. And he acknowledged it. He waved to everybody. And yeah, there was a lot of people there for Jamal, just as much as Nikola, for sure. Yeah. Let's see. Trevor's saying this team does not look like a rebel team. They look like they're already built. A rebel team? What do you mean rebel? Rebel. Oh, you mean rebuilt team? Is that it? Spell corrected you weird. I was like, is this Star Wars? Yeah. Well, at least we're not on the dark side. Come on, we want to be rebels. Smooth saying it's about the lottery ball. Yeah, the lottery. No, I'm not thinking about that. We're not playing capture the flag. We're playing. If we lose and we end up in a certain place in the draft, that's natural. I mean, we're not doing this on purpose. The game last night, well, some people that really want to tank, well, they should be happy. How about that? If we ain't going to please the Raptors fans that don't like losing and get mad about it, we might as well please the capture the flag players. Yeah. I'm out in the park and I'm going to capture the flag, Cooper flag. I'm out in the park. Did you guys ever play Capture the Flag? That was a cool game when I was a kid. I used to love that one because you could be like kind of like Rambo. You like hide in a bush and then like do all kinds of sneaky like stealth shit. And then all of a sudden you're in their like fort and you're capturing their flag. Yeah, it was a fun game. It was a fun game. It's kind of like paintball, I guess, in some ways. Yeah. All right, let's keep going in the chat. Fiercely saying, good morning, fam, and happy Tuesday. What a display from the bench. It was great to see them going neck to neck with greatness like Jokic and Murray. I will ignore Westbrook. You such a petty soul for dissing old Westbrook. Listen, what Russell's weird, man. He's so weird. What's wrong with you, Russell? 240 for Fiercey. Man, he's annoying. And in some ways, that was such a dirty shot. Let's look at Russell's stats real quick so I can make fun of him because he sucked. It's 3 for 7, 0 for 1 from 3. That three-pointer he shot was so off. 3 for 4 at the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 2 turnovers, 9 points for Russell Westbrook. He started this season, guys. Let me look at his individual stats real quick for this season so far. It's ridiculous. He's shooting 20% from the field. Oh, wait, no, he's shooting overall. He's shooting 20% from the field so far for the Nuggets in the 3 games he's played for them so far. 20%. He's shooting 20%. That's from the field, not from 3. That's from overall. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, really annoyed with Aaron Gordon. Fuck you. Yeah, I don't even want to look at their box score. Dario Saric, what a waste. He came out there, didn't do nothing. Watson was annoying. And there was one play in transition where Watson found the seam and threw it down. That annoyed me. That was another moment where the Raptors fucked up and they needed to tighten up because they allowed an easy basket by Patrick Watson to just go right down the lane and make a dunk. Yeah, there's a couple places where we could have tightened up and we would have avoided overtime and altogether. Yeah, yeah, it's very interesting in that. Let's do the team stats. Why not? Since we're talking about this, the Raptors actually won all the stats. This is one of those weird games where the team that won didn't actually get better stats. They just managed to like sneak and seagull a win from the other team, even though the other team played better than them. 49% from the field for the Nuggets and 45 for us. So that may be where they beat us. A lot of those missed layups, especially late in the game in overtime, that is where they beat us, is the field goal percentage. And, the Denver Nuggets announcers in the replay I saw, they were complaining that the Nuggets were shooting a lot of shots. They were going on the rim and falling out and not falling in. And they were like, why are these shots not falling in? Well, Jakob Pertl's bugging you. Scotty Barnes is there bugging you, and he's harassing those shots. We got 10 3-pointers to their 9, but we only shot 29% from 3. They shot 45% from 3. So we took way more threes than them, but we missed a lot of shots there. So maybe that was where the problem was. Too much settling for threes and not making enough of them. The free throws, they got 9 more free throw attempts than us. And that's where I'll yell at James Capers. That like RJ should have gotten maybe 9 free throw attempts, and that maybe evens up the free throws. It's not like they were going to the basket any more than us, James Capers. So why the hell did they get 9 more free throw attempts? Yeah, they wanted to help them win. And that's the ref manipulation right there. You don't call shit like Scotty getting elbowed in the eye and putting him on the line. You don't call shit and obviously getting people grabbing him on the arms and you don't call shit. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. There's another area where they beat us. We out rebounded them 54-52. We out assisted them 30-29. We had less turnovers than them. They had 16 turnovers. We had 15 turnovers. That's still too many turnovers, according to Darko, but an improvement from the game before. We got more fast break points than them, 20-18, and we beat them in the paint, 74-68. So why the hell did we lose? Ref manipulation, missing shots. Ref manipulation and missing shots. Yeah. Yeah, right there. Right there, baby. Kareem is here. Good to see Butt Dial. Actually, I can't call you that anymore. David's Butt Dial. Good to see Full Ass. Kareem Thomas. Amazing game. So much promise. Future is bright. In contrast, the Nuggets starting four have been together for 5 years. They know how to overcome adversity with their experience. We outplayed them for 45 minutes. Yep, and yep. Everything he said. No lie in there. No lie in there in any kind of way. Kareem, I love you, man. I hope you're doing great this morning. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Nice game versus Denver. See, we're seeing this. In some ways, look, this is what progress is. This is what rebuilding is. This is what Raptors fans should be looking at is what we're talking about. That this is, in some ways, Darko said this. He doesn't like moral victories. He said it straight up last night. He said, I'm not going to take this as a moral victory. I don't believe in them. He's not happy they lost. But that's the way our coach should be. In some ways, we as fans, we can take it as a moral victory because we can look at it from the outside and see that this is a rebuilding process and that we have a lot to work with to have a very sunny and bright future. Oh, yeah, a very, very bright future. As Kareem said, the future is bright. That's right. Let's see. Fiercely saying, agreed with Bryce. Scotty playing in overtime, we win. Denver is in big trouble, nevertheless, as our future looks bright. Yeah, they're in trouble because they're maxed out in contracts, and I don't know how much they can do things. Like Nuggets fans hate their front office, apparently. I've seen this all over social media. I hate our front office. Yeah, because in some ways they cheaped out and they let your championship team get disintegrated. And now you're at where you're at, where you're just barely clinging on and beating the Raptors just barely in Monday night. And the Raptors aren't supposed to be a very good team. And that's what stings the worst about this thing for them. It's like, oh my gosh. We what a heart attack almost had. With the Raptors almost beat us. In some ways, I'm glad we won finally. But man, I can't feel too good about this because that's the thing. Everybody's gonna think our reputation precedes us. Oh, we're playing the Raptors, easy win, easy win. Well, when we fuck them up, It'll make people go into weird tailspins. In fact, this shit gets NBA coaches fired. When the Raptors, a lowly team that's not supposed to beat you, overachieve and beat you. Yeah, you can ask Luke Walton. He lost his job in Sacramento after the Raptors beat the Kings in a game that we shouldn't have probably won. Yeah, we can end NBA coaching careers. Trust me. When we beat teams when they're not supposed to, it's so fun. I love that shit. I love that shit. Oh man, yeah. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, uh, the only reason why we lost is experience. So it's a great game. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I can see this. Well, and the refs too. I think James Capers not calling any fouls for RJ is very key to why. And Scotty being out. Scotty being out. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, welcome back, RJ. Brings a different energy on the court, aggressive and fearless too. Yeah, I really love RJ. I love him so much. That's why I won't watch Gubstown Clink, because he said, let's trade RJ. Man, fuck that. We love RJ. RJ's so good. Cool Cat saying, good to see Oshai's confidence is back. He looks like Kansas Oshai. Very happy to see his improved development. Yes, yes, and yes. Yeah, we've gone over Oshai a bit already today on the chat. But yeah, I will second all that. Kareem saying, Oshai gets yet another star for me in the third straight game. He continues to make me eat my own words. He's surprising me every game. Oshai playing like this coming off the bench could make him a six-man. Well, he's going to be a six-man because when we're healthy, he shouldn't be starting. RJ's available. Oshai's off the bench. In some ways, that's the only thing. It's like Davion. Davion's off the bench when IQ's back. So, that's the great thing. I love that he showed up with the same production from starting off the bench last night, pretty much. Yeah. And you know what? You're saying that he's another star of the game. Well, actually, he's been a star of the game for the last 3 games on my book. He's on my spreadsheet 3 times in a row as a star of the game. Nako saying, I don't hate RJ's shot at the end, probably a little ill-advised. Yeah, but if it goes in, that's legendary. Number 9, hitting that shot for his city right at the end like that. That's legendary. And what a return back. And imagine the script writing of that, like the script writing, the story. Scotty goes out and RJ steps up big and wins the game for us, even though Scotty was out. That's a beautiful story right there, Gerald. Yeah, I don't hate it either. In some ways, I you know what? I want RJ to have the confidence to take those kind of shots. And in some ways, that's a better sign than the opposite. They often say you'd rather have a player that goes all out and you have to rein them in than a player you have to motivate to get up to go do something. Well, in some ways, the Raptors have had problems over the years with players that will step up and have the guts to take a shot like RJ did. And the fact that RJ is like, yeah, let me do it. I'm eager is good because other people be scared to do it. Other people be like, I don't know. It's a lot of pressure. No, RJ's like, call my number, coach. I'm ready to do this. And you don't get it twisted. Scotty's the same way. If he's in that situation, he'll want 4 called. And Emmanuel also, number 5. And at some point, Grady's going to be like, yeah, number 1, I will do it. I will come out there and I'll hit a big shot to help us win a game. I'll bet you that'll happen with Grady too at some point. But yeah, I love this about RJ. And this is something he's done for Team Canada in recent years. And he did it for New York at times too. He would like to take the big shot and he's not afraid of it. And that's better than him not wanting to take the shot, right? Isn't it? Yeah, I would agree. Maybe. Yeah. I'd say that. Yeah. Yeah. Stargate's here. Good to see Stargate. One reason we lost this game, Scotty leaving the game. That I will say that's on the list. If you want me to do a family feud board and we'll say survey said, I'll put that on there and it might be ding, 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 number 1. Yeah, I would say it's probably RJ's lack of free throws, ding, 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 or this or that. The experience of the Nuggets, ding, ding, ding. What are the reasons why the Raptors lost a close game in overtime last night? Oh, survey says, ding, 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 ding. Yeah, you didn't get a, no, you're on the list, Stargate. Yeah, G saying RJ said he would do it again. Laugh out loud. I actually like that confidence. If it went in, he would be a hero. Exactly. And it wasn't that bad of a shot, honestly. When I saw it in live in the arena, I was like, what the fuck is he doing? But then when I came home and I watched the replay a couple times, he did have a defender really close, but he did hit the rim. That's the crazy thing. So he wasn't that far off. And the other thing, like I said earlier, is that having the 3.5 seconds still, that allows Grady and Jakob to both get a shot attempt. And honestly, either one of those go in, we go to double overtime. And that's the thing. The home crowd should be helping the team in double overtime. But the experience of Michael Malone and the Nuggets know they need to score first in overtime to set the tone. And they did. And they went to their bread and butter. They went to Nikola like crazy. And Nikola getting that three-pointer, and then all of a sudden they have an 8-point lead in overtime, and we're coming from behind instead of being ahead like we were the whole regulation time. That's a tough flip-flop. But that's the experienced team of the Nuggets knowing that this is how you need to handle overtime to steer yourself to get the victory. Is jump all over it, score for, get the first lead in the overtime, and have the other team trying to come back at you. And that's when it's tougher. Now, to our credit, we came back and Davion hit a big three, and we made some very important free throws in the overtime. And we did have a real chance to win it. And they didn't just blow us out in the overtime and win by like 10 points in the overtime, which could have happened also, y'all. So there was some testing of their mettle in a high-pressure situation with a championship team, and they matched, and they just came up this short. I'm not that mad. I'm not that mad in some ways. I'm really not. Really not. Let's see. Tristan's here. Good to see Tristan, one of the great Raptor freaks. Good to see everyone. Tough loss, but all things considered, good team effort. Yeah, I'm not that upset. I'm really not. I went to the game. I enjoyed it. I lost my voice mostly, and we had a good time. It was a lot of fun. We went to Real Sports and had a nice meal before the game, and then went in and watched the game and had a good time. It's always fun to be down in the arena. I know I lied. I said, I'm not going to go to any games this year. I can't quit you, baby. I mean, that's a big part of it. It's like the same thing I would say to Adriana. I was like, I can't quit you, baby. I can't quit you or the Raptors. You're going to come and tell me, Adriana, on the phone, you say, I'll take you to the Raptors game tonight. I'm like, damn, girl, I can't quit you. I'm not supposed to be talking to you because we're not really together anymore. But you know what? I'll go to the game with you. So I did. And that's how it happened. It's, in some ways, it really was Adriana that got me to go to the game because I wasn't planning on going to any games this season. But she has a way with doing this. And in some ways, I can't quit the Raptors. I'm not that mad about Vince's retirement anymore. So I went to the game. I apologize, guys. I told y'all I wasn't going to, but hell, what was the Raptors freak going to do without his Raptors in the arena and coming down there and yelling defense whenever the other team has the ball? I got to do it. I just can't quit them. Damn it. It's somebody. David's here. Yeah, it's too bad. Scotty broke his orbital bone. I wonder how much time he'll miss. Will be weird seeing him with a mask on. Well, that's the interesting thing. Sometimes the orbital bone doesn't miss a lot of time because they just wear the mask. So we'll have to see. This is official. You guys are getting this from the Twitter sphere or something like that. Let's see. Where's Scotty Barnes news? Come on, tell me. Rudy Gay's retiring apparently after 17 years. Yeah, fuck you, Rudy Gay. You never wanted to come to Toronto. We never wanted you up here, you sorry ass. Jose Calderon is early voted. I guess Jose is actually a U.S. citizen for the first time. So he has voted. I'm pretty sure I know who Jose voted for. Yeah, I'm pretty positive I know who Calderon voted for. Yeah, and it's not some idiot that was at Madison Square Garden this weekend. No, it wasn't. Yeah. Where's the news about Scotty? I want to see the official news, guys. So let's see. Maybe I'll need to go look at Lewinberg or somebody just to read this for sure. Yeah, Aaron Gordon. Fuck you. I like that. Scotty Barnes standing up to Aaron Gordon. All right. Lewinberg or something like that. Let me go look at Lewinberg. Lewinberg will probably have it. He would be in the know. It could be also Blake Murphy. I'll have to go look at. Come on. Where is it? No, I guess he hasn't woken up yet. David, wherever you found this, I don't know officially if it is actually a broken orbital bone, but I'll go by what you're saying and just believe you. Yeah, this is my history of understanding the injuries. He's probably going to wear a mask. He may miss like a week, but and then wear a mask after that. So I don't think he's going to be out that long, honestly. Seriously. In some ways, it's a better injury to the face. Unless he's like can't see and he's having some problems with swelling, that may be an issue. But it's not any of his limbs, and that's a good thing. In some ways, it's like a finger, like last year. Any of the joints and on any limbs, that's more of a problem than the face. In some ways, it could affect his shooting if he's not able to see correctly. But for the most part, there's a long history of guys becoming Zorro and getting out there as the masked man and getting on the court. Bill Laimbeer. Bill Laimbeer in a mask. Yeah. All right. David's here and it's 9:44. So we're going to go ahead and do the classic card right now, guys. 9:44 is the timestamp. It's not 9:44 right now, but that's the timestamp. So I'm going to go ahead and do the classic card. And this is so weird, y'all. Holy crap. I must really know things. All right, first person to write in, be quick. All right, listen. I picked it. I didn't even know it was this one. Seriously, I just grabbed the first one. That is eerie. I mean, it is right around Halloween, and the veil is very close between the two. This is a sign, honestly. Write it in, somebody. You know who this is. I just said their name. This is so fucked up. I literally said this guy's name, and he's wearing a mask in the picture. Seriously, who is this? The classic card of the day. If you don't know who that is, yeah, it's Bill Lambier. You spelled his name very badly. The last name Stargate. I don't know, David. Are you still here? See, he spelled it way better. David, you want to rule on this as far as things? Seriously, I just said he may be wearing a mask. Scott, what is that? Who's that calling me? Somebody calling me on the phone. I don't understand why. Anyway, that is so freaking weird. Look at that. And look at see, Scotty could be wearing a clear mask, just like Bill. All right. Should I get the phone? Hang on. Who the hell is calling? Who the hell is calling? What am I doing, man? I'm on a stream right now. Okay, I'm just gonna turn down the volume. That's so weird, man. I usually have my phone off, and there wouldn't be no phone calls during the show. I had a wake up call because I was so tired. I got Adriana to wake me up at 9 a.m. so that I'd get up in time to do the show because I went to bed at 4. Remember, guys? Yeah. All right, here. All right. Yeah, Bill Lambier. I'm gonna give it to Smooth. You didn't spell it very well at all. It's Bill Lambier. Here, like you drink. And yeah. And look at the mask. That's so fucked up. Like literally, y'all just saw something weird happen. Like I feel like I'm a magician. I did not set that up. I did not in any kind of way. I'm kind of feeling a little tripped out right now. I mean, it is right around Halloween and spooky shit happens. Holy crap, that's so weird. All right, classic card. It's Bill Lambier with the mask on, which is crazy. And Smooth is gonna get it. And we're gonna go ahead and give him, you know what, because it's so strange. I'm just gonna give you 100, just 100, because it's a simple card. It's not like this is hard to figure out. Man, I used to love Bill. Honestly, he's one of my favorite players from back. Everybody hated him, but I loved him because I was a Pistons fan. I was a Bad Boys fan before the Raptors existed, and Bill Lambier was a hero to me, even though he was dirty as hell. And yeah, he was causing some shit out there on the court all the time. But yeah, I love him, man. Yeah, let's see. All right, let's see. 9:44 is the time where David was. I'll make sure I get back to the right spot and we don't miss any comments on the stream. If your comment has not been read yet, it will get there. We'll get there. That's so weird, man. It's so weird. I said Bill Lambier with a mask. And then I went in the classic card box. I didn't look at it. I pulled it out, and that was the card that I got, y'all. Maybe I need to go get a lottery ticket. Yeah. So weird. I mean, think about the odds of this. Seriously. How many different people played in the NBA and how many different classic cards are there? And how many different years of the NBA? For me to get this, and not only is it a Bill Lambier card, it's one with a mask on it. Whoa. Maybe I need to get off the stream. Seriously, something weird's happening right now. Woo, and the phone rang. Final destination. No, none of that shit. I don't know what's going on here. All right, let's see. All right, where was David? All right, here we go. David said that. And Monique said 3 stars of the game for her, Oshai, Grady, Scotty, and a bonus, it's Yak. So you really liked Grady last night. I thought Grady was okay. He didn't score as much as I would have liked. But you know, he was okay. It's okay. My 3 stars, Mo, if you missed it, were Jakob, Scotty, and Oshai. Those 3. Yeah. Let's see. Nako's saying RJ was also a little rusty. I expect a better performance from him in the future. And all things considered, this was a good performance. Well, we got to think about this. Dude hasn't played hardly at all. He played 14 minutes in the preseason, and he's been off for 3 weeks. And he plays, I don't know how many minutes he had last night. Let me go look. He plays 29 minutes. So they did try and limit his minutes. But like Darko said in the post-game conference that RJ was a bit winded in overtime. So think about this. If he's taking that crazy 3-point shot, he wasn't at his absolute best because he was really tired. And in some ways, like he even said, this is so funny. RJ's such a real one. And I'm going to talk about Fred after this too.
RJ goes, yeah, Scotty was getting into it with Russell because of the hard foul, and rightfully so. We're not going to be pushed around. I'm going to tell you that right now. This is what RJ said after the game. We won't be pushed around as a team, and I was there for him even with my bum shoulder. I had one shoulder, and I was going to fight for him. That's basically what RJ said after the game. That like in the middle of that whole skirmish with Aaron Gordon, that RJ was ready to throw down with only one good shoulder. Now, Freddie, wow, Fred's a real one. Ooh, we love our Fred VanVleet. If you're not a Fred VanVleet fan, you're not a Raptors fan. I'm sorry. Freddie got into it with Jeremy Sohan. And the Houston San Antonio matchups are always a grudge match. And San Antonio and Houston were playing. And Jeremy Sohan said something like, Houston sucks. Fred took issue with it. And he went over and he got in his face. He's, nah, motherfucker, you don't say that shit. This guy Fred's so awesome. He's such a real one. He came over there and he said, no, you don't say that. And he got in his face. And I know Fred was courageous in that because Jeremy's a very big guy, but Fred's a strong guy. He may be little, but he's very strong. But he's also more courageous because Steven Adams is standing behind Jeremy at that same time when he's saying that to him. But I love Freddie standing for Houston and not letting somebody like Jeremy Sohan disrespect the city he's playing for right now. In some ways, that's the way he carried for us up here. He carries for his team like that down there. And I respect that. And I love one of the GROATs, Fred VanVleet, for being a real one like that. Seriously, that was very cool, Fred. And honestly, he's feisty and he's a badass. And I'm like this fight from RJ and Scotty from last night also. Definitely. Yeah. Carlos saying, hopefully it's not a concussion with Scotty. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, the way it looked, it wasn't exactly like he got hit with the elbow, but they're saying it was the elbow. It looked like it was the forearm of Nikola that kind of whacked him in the eye. But it could have been directly the joint of the elbow. That would be more dangerous because that's the hard part right there. The bionic elbow of Lex Luger, bam. If it's more like this part of his arm that hit Scotty in the eye, that may be better for him with what's happening. But he still got hit by a very tall 7-foot man that's like 250 pounds. That's still going to hurt. It's still going to hurt. And the way he crumpled on the ground, I really hate the Nuggets announcers because of what they said, Scotty Barnes trying to sell a foul. Is how they called that. They're saying Scotty Barnes trying to sell a foul down at the end of the court, 4-on-5 for the Nuggets. And like trying to sell a foul, fuck you. You think that he's laying on the ground for no reason at all, like and not in the play. He's a competitor. He's not trying to sell a foul. This isn't fucking pro wrestling. Like he sold it. He crumples down like he's flopping. No. Somebody goes to the floor like that, they actually literally got hit in the face. And shame on you, Nuggets broadcasters, for trying to say Scotty Barnes trying to sell a foul. No, he got hit in the face legitimately. And that's evidence that he had to leave the court and not come back to the game. And I hope you felt a little bad about that. Later on, we say, well, the Raptors are going into overtime without their star, Scotty Barnes, because he was not able to return. Yeah, your initial call was he's trying to sell a foul. Fuck you, Denver Nuggets announcers. 2-finger salute for you from me. That's right. I see everything. I hear everything. I know what you said. Even though I was at the game, I know what you said. That's right. So fuck you, Denver announcers, trying to sell a foul. David's saying he'll probably just a broken face. He'll be fine. Yeah, you broke your face, Scott. Nah, I don't know. We'll see. Orbital bone. Yeah, that's sometimes a common injury in the NBA. And that's when these guys get those masks. So we're going to get a masked man. Scotty may be having the mask on this year for a while. And that may be cool. It may be very interesting to see mask Scotty and see if it's some sort of output of different stats because of that. We'll see. G saying, I think he should have driven to the net, but all the same time, referees may not have called a foul, even if it was obvious. Wouldn't trust them either. No, they wouldn't have. That was the precedent that was already set the whole entire game. Where RJ's going to the basket, they're just letting him get hit, and he has to make it. That's the only way he's going to score. They're not going to give him a foul call and put him on the line. Maybe James Capers does right at the end because RJ was politicking him in the overtime, telling him, he said, he hit me on the head. I saw him at the end of the court talking to James, like giving him crap for like, why do I not having free throws? What's this going on? I got hit in the head the last time I just went down there and tried to make a layup that I didn't make. And you guys didn't call shit. And it was just see, that's one of the ways they understand to help the other team. Like they'll call it, and Aaron Gordon's taking free throws at the end of the game, but they don't for us. And that's a ref manipulation to guide one team towards having a better chance to win. In some ways, the Nuggets do not win this game without the help of James Capers. I'm going to tell you that right now. Seriously, they do not win without his help. It is absolutely necessary for them to win. Stargate saying all these so-called fans over criticizing the loss need to go watch hockey and leave basketball to who know and love basketball. This is true. I mean, there's so many people that think they know basketball and they never even actually played themselves. It's crazy. It's crazy. You have to actually play. You have to kind of understand the game. And if you're using any hockey logic or baseball logic or football logic or any other fucking sports logic, MMA, just stop, pause, and no, it's basketball, and it's a very, very different world than hockey. Trust me. And anybody who's using hockey logic on what they think the GM should do and this and that, you guys are idiots. And Stargate's exactly right. That's right. Cowboys here. Let's go, Raptors. Ta-da! Bradley's in the house. Good to see one of our most enthusiastic Raptor freaks, one of the best. Cowboy in the house. That's right. Smooth Sam Murray and Jokic were money at the end of the fourth, man. Championship players. Yeah. They knew exactly what they needed to do it because they've done it many, many times before in Western Conference games against top Western Conference teams. And they played against some really good teams and beat these teams in crazy, crazy games. So they know exactly what it takes to win. Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. And that is exactly right. Experience, as Cool Cat said, was one of the big factors for last night. That's right. Let's go, Raptors. That's right. That's right. 6-game winning streak incoming. Stop saying that, Cowboy. I don't know. I mean, listen, dinner with Darko is not a thing this year. So let's not worry about getting 3 in a row or any of that, like that kind of stuff. Let's just take the games as they come. If we string a couple wins together, that's awesome. I said a couple, Bradley. I said a couple. G saying Nuggets core are a chip team with deep playoff experience and experience under high pressure. The Raps' inexperience showed in the end. Every contending team had to go through these to get to where they are. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. G always on point. Smooth saying there was a play with a minute in the fourth that really opened the door for Denver. RJ stepping to the line, unforced turnover. That hurt, man. Yes. Yes. I'm glad you brought that up, actually, Smooth. I wouldn't have remembered it. Yeah, that was a play where RJ caught the ball and he was right on the end line and he just stepped out by accident. This is style stuff we could clean up. That's a turnover that was at a very inopportune time. And that could have helped seal the deal. And it was almost like we were one possession away from winning. If we'd just gotten the 2-possession or 3-possession game in the last minute of the game again, they can't catch up. But to make it so that they just made it barely by a crazy ass layup Murray. But don't get it twisted. RJ doesn't step out of bounds. Davion doesn't miss that one free throw. Oshai doesn't miss a free throw. This changes this game dramatically, and we don't even go into overtime. And that turnover in particular was very costly. The one where RJ stepped on the end line when he was really close to the basket. And then there were some layups that just didn't go in between Jakob and Grady right at the end, but also throughout the overtime and in the final minutes of the fourth quarter. There was opportunities where we had nothing on the trip down the court, where if we just scored on that one, we would have won because we had the double-digit lead 2 minutes to go, and we just needed to score again. So there was a lot of luck on their sides too, as far as the Raptors didn't make an extra basket here or had a turnover here or missed a free throw there. You know, there's a lot in that too. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Smooth. And yeah, I meant to bring up that play where RJ stepped out on the end line. Randolph's here. Good morning, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. To right your wrongs and correcting your mistakes is a demonstration of growth and maturity. I love that. I love that. That's fantastic. Yeah, we're all works in progress. And if we can get better every single day, like the Raptors as a team, well, we'll become a better person over time. How about that? How about that? Leo's life tips today. Good morning, Coffee Daily. Have a wonderful day. Network well. Exercise daily. Think positively. Worry less. Work hard. Love always. Relax often. Stay strong. Build faith. Read more. Eat healthy. Live forever. Be happy. Live forever. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. All right. Thank you, Leo, and your life tips. Thank you, Randolph. Thank you, Trevor. The 3 wise men of the Raptor Free channel, giving us their words of advice. I appreciate all of you. Blessings to the Phillips family and all the Raptor Freak families out there. That's right. and the Wizards beat the Hawks. Yeah, Pritchard had a big game for the Celtics last night, from what I heard. And the Wizards beat the Hawks. Well, I'm tell you right now, the Hawks suck. If the Wizards beat them, they suck. Monique is saying, good to have RJ back. I enjoyed seeing the fight. Scotty will definitely be in a mask, David. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, RJ is such an aggressive, tough player. And there's something about RJ being on the court with Scott. Like there's a certain synergy between the two B's of the barbecue. As far as like, listen, in some ways they were high school adversaries. In some ways they have a lot in common. They're high draft picks in the NBA draft. And in some ways they could be easily like rivals on the team, but they're not, and you can tell the way they are out there on the court and from the things they say about each other. I know that Scotty has an immense respect for RJ Barrett. I've heard him talk about him on his Twitch channel at length and saying things. And I know hearing what RJ said after the game last night about Scott standing up for himself in that instance with Russell Westbrook, he has an immense respect for Scotty also. And they really do complement each other with different ways. I mean, we saw them playing off each other last night where Scotty hit RJ in a cut, and boom, RJ's got an easy basket. So they really do make each other's lives easier, and that's why it's a great partnership. So I'm all about it. I'm all about it. Yeah, Smith's saying Jokic is crazy good, man. Yeah, he's goofy, man. He's goofy, but he is who he is, and in some ways, I just wish he had missed a couple of those threes that he took. He got 3 wide open threes that he nailed, and honestly, some of those may not have gone in. Well, the game's different right there. The game's different right there. Those wide open threes, though, I was like, damn. Because then sometimes Jokic is on with the threes or he's off on different nights. Well, he was on with the 3 last night. And in some ways, the Nuggets absolutely needed him to be on with the threes for them to win last night. Yeah. Yeah. Stargate saying Nikola, Westbrook, and Gordon were dirty as fuck. Yep. Those are the 3 main culprits right there. Those 3 right there. Nikola, dirty. Westbrook, definitely dirty. And Aaron Gordon's just a thug, punk ass little bitch. And yeah, that we still remember your shit with Kyle Lowry. How about that, Aaron Gordon? That's right. David's saying that female ref from last night is really good at her job. It's really refreshing to have at least one competent official in the league now. Well done, Adam. Yeah, and Tristan saying, notice that too, David. Yeah, I think Sheree was fine. This is only the second time she's ever reffed the Raptors, but we're 0-2 with her, and the Nuggets are 4-0 with her. She's from Utah, just so y'all know. And that's kind of close to Denver. Anyway, I was in the arena for most of the game, so I was kind of seeing how she interacted with people. Y'all thought she was really good. I didn't see that completely myself, but I'm not going to disagree with you because I didn't see it on TV. It could be that you guys just saw more in the TV and the shots than I did from the end of the court and looking that way. She seemed like she was talking to different people and stuff like that, but I didn't see anything like none of her calls were really that um poignant or important, it seemed like, but she was doing what she's doing. But you guys like her. That's good. That's good. Carlos saying, I love the spunk from Scotty, though. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the same shit he showed from DeAndre Ayton, Quentin Grimes, all kinds of different situations where Scotty will get in people's faces and he won't back down. Well, let's add Aaron Gordon and Russell Westbrook to that list. Of course, that funny picture of him and DeAndre Ayton a couple years ago, where he's just up in his face, like, oh, I love that moment so much. That's Scott. That's Scott right there. Randolph saying, Lex, 3 of the major injuries suffered by our main players over the years was inflicted by big men on the opposite side. The referees need to keep an eye on this. So I'm trying to think. Oh, you mean like over the years? I'm trying to think which ones you're talking about exactly. But either way, I mean, whether it's Joel stepping on Scotty in the playoffs, the elbow last night, I get what you're saying. I mean, I think this is a problem overall in the league, honestly. But we just got to hope for good injury results with not as much, and hopefully that'll happen over time. Blackhawks saying great game last night. 16 more of these, and we're going to look very good. It's a learning process. Some Raptors fans just want everything all at once, all in their lap, easy. That's just the way society has taught them with Amazon and DoorDash and all that other bullshit. And, well, that's not how real life works. In some ways, the Raptors are going to have a very interesting season where they're going to win some games that nobody thinks they're going to win, and they're going to be competitive in games where they could almost win. They don't win, like the one last night. But in some ways, it's a moral victory, but in some ways, it's also showing signs of progress. And that's what matters. Thank you, Neil, for being here. Adriana's here. And she's saying, I may be crazy, but life would be boring. Otherwise, spontaneity is fun. Yeah, she gets me out of my shell. And she's like, Lex, why don't you come to the Denver game with me? And I'm like, all right, I'll come downtown and go all the way into the middle of the city and be around everybody in the arena. Don't twist my arm. You guys keep pulling me back in. I think now we're going to go to the New Year's Day game also. So I'll be at the game with Jordy Fernandez and Brooklyn Nets on the back-to-back after New Year's Eve in Boston. The Raptors will come back to Toronto and play Jordy Fernandez and the Nets and Dennis Schroeder on New Year's Day, and we got tickets to that game. And the crazy thing is, and this is so weird, they're the exact same seats that we sat in last night. It's so weird how that worked out. They weren't bad seats though, and they can definitely hear me at the bench and on the court. So there's perfect seats for me to be there to be loud. G saying Joker always does dirty plays when they are desperate for a win. He turned dirty a few years ago. We need an enforcer crazy Portis or Surge type, in my opinion. Well, I'm going to say this once again, G. On the down low, Jakob is hitting people too, and he's a little dirty. There's a couple different players and ways we can be like this. In some ways, we don't want to be like this completely. But yeah, Joker, in some ways, he's learned the hard knocks of the NBA. If you have proprietary knowledge that know what you can get away with in the league and it helps you to win, you're going to continue to do it. And that's part of it right there. That's part of it right there. In some ways also, this is symbolic of the NBA's new wanting to FIBA-fy themselves. That, there's a lot more contact being allowed underneath the basket than ever this year, with a lot of dirty shit and holding and pushing and stuff. And they'll call it from time to time, but there's a lot more stuff happening underneath the basket contact-wise since the season started than last year. And that's very interesting. I think that's the FIBA effect in the Olympics and what Adam Silver's trying to get. Now, the physicality doesn't totally extend out to the perimeter, though. They'll call fouls out there more often than they will underneath the basket right now. And that's interesting. Kareem saying, so Scotty broke his face. Can we confirm this yet? I don't know if David has got this. I haven't seen it officially, but I'll go look at another person. Let's go look at Blake Murphy and see what he's saying, because he'll probably know what's up, obviously. Let's see. Is there anything about it? No, 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 no. No, there's no official word. David's over speculating. Unless he's seen somewhere, I need you to cite resources. I'm not going to believe anything until I see it for sure. That's right. Let's see. Carlos saying no news yet. That's right. Tristan is gifted a membership. That's awesome, man. David saying orbital bone. I can tell by experience. Okay, he's just saying because he sees it and he thinks that. That may not be true, though. Seriously, you don't know how hard he got hit, David. Let's see. The expression on his face when he's crawling around. I had mine broken once. I can guarantee you that's that. Okay, so he's saying it's because of his own experience. It's not for sure. Well, David, we can't do this, man. I mean, I know I speculate and kind of infer, and maybe you are exactly right. And but you can't come in here and tell me that that's what this is, because I'm staking my claim on saying, oh, it's orbital bone. But unless it actually officially comes out, I won't say it for sure. But David's speculating that it is from his own experience. And I won't say he's wrong, because it could probably be very exactly right. So Tristan is gifted a membership to Tobias. Very nice of you, Tristan. I appreciate you supporting the channel and hooking up our guy Tobias today. Yeah. Stargate saying the amount of players Jokic has personally injured during a game is ridiculous. He's a dirty player straight up. Yeah, and it's funny because the two big MVP candidates are both dirty players, Embiid and Jokic, both of them. And Bryce is saying Max Scotty, demon time. There you go. Tristan saying even Armstrong was fired up about the refs. Laugh out loud. Yeah, and Matt Devlin did that call. RJ kidding me? Was he RJ's dunk on Aaron Gordon? Wow. That was awesome. And in some ways, that was him getting back on them for some of the stuff they were doing dirty. Was RJ coming back and just throwing down that left-handed hammer on top of Aaron Gordon's head. Ooh, that was a nice dunk. That was a real nice dunk. I love that dunk right there. And Hello Welcome podcast, William Liu and Alex Wong. They were doing like a weird thing with Matt Devlin on their episode recently where they were getting him to call out weird stuff. And Matt Devlin actually used that call during the game last night. He said, RJ kidding me? RJ kidding me? That's pretty good. That Ennis guy is funny, man. He comes up with good shit. It's funny, man. KM's here. That is
That is our guy in wait, KM? No, that's not our guy. KM, good to see you and welcome to the channel. It's 9:30 a.m. every morning. Is it crazy when Jamal had that layup to tie the game? I said that's Grady's move. Good morning, y'all. Good morning to you. I don't think that's crazy. I don't think that's crazy. I think Shed was very good at picking the times. Like him and Mitchell had very nice layups in the game last night where they kind of got over the defender and used the glass, and they were money. In some ways, that's one of the things I love about these point guards. And I'm going to bash Malachi again because there were often times where Malachi would go to the basket and he would miss layups in all kinds of weird ways. And there wouldn't even be anybody around him. He would like miss a layup just to miss a layup. And meanwhile, Shed and Davion are going at defenders and laying it up over people with successful, like baller kind of skills. That's why I say Flynn was a fraud because he couldn't even make layups half the time when he'd drive to the basket. Meanwhile, we see Davion Mitchell and Jamal Shed attacking the rim and successfully converting and executing. And I liked seeing that last night. I really did. Randolph saying, Lex, we were devouring the Nuggets until in later stages of the game. Like McDonald's Nuggets gets harder the longer you take to eat them. That's such a funny analogy, but it's right. Like, didn't they used to have like a 50 box or something? Like, I'd be crazy. Like, I'm like that guy, man versus food. When I was younger, not anymore because my dietary restrictions don't allow it. I used to take food challenges on. And sometimes if there's some sort of novelty specialty item on a menu at a restaurant, I'll be like, yeah, I'll get the crazy Delmonico like steak that John Candy eats in that one movie. You know, oh, the El Delmonico or something like that. I forget what it's called. That's not the right name. I know that's not. But yeah, I would do stuff like that. And sometimes I would be like, you know, what's the biggest amount of nuggets I can buy at McDonald's? And I buy like these huge 50 boxes. And I would try and eat the whole thing. And what Randolph is saying is exactly right. The more you eat those fucking nuggets, the harder it is to keep eating them. He's exactly right. That's right. That's right. That's the best analogy ever. Randolph is what David's saying, and Tristan's laughing about it. It's pretty good. All right, we're gonna give Randolph a dunk for his Nuggets analogy. Yeah, we're talking about the Nuggets. We might as well talk about McNuggets while we're doing it, of course. All right, you're at 67, Randolph. You just got a 10-pointer for your excellent analogy there. Cowboys laughing too. Infamous saying, salute, freaks. This loss is at the feet of Darko and Scotty. Darko with his closing lineup, and Scotty, no moving the ball. ISO ball needs to go. Man, you got to watch the stream, Infamous. I'm not even going to take your comment as a legitimate comment. I'm sorry, my guy. I'm not blaming either one of those guys. They did a fantastic job last night. And if you're really nitpicking to like target practice, like somebody to get them in trouble, go and put the target on James Capers. And the fact that RJ Barrett didn't get a single damn free throw attempt last night. That's your first person on your suspect list. How about that? And then let's go Nikola Jokic, multiple NBA MVP. Maybe put him on the list before you start blaming Darko and Scotty because it's bullshit. Scotty was awesome last night. You're going to say that ISO ball needs to go? No. I would say that ISO ball needs to go if he's settling for 3-point shots and playing lazy. But this man's working hard. He's getting established presence in the paint. And he's making high percentage shots, bank shots, and doing it over defenders. And I have no problem with that. In fact, I want Scotty to be more alpha and ISO in the games more often because we're getting good results from it. So very off base with that one. And then you're going to say, because Darko's lineup, well, what the fuck is he supposed to do? Scott's out because he got smacked in the eye with an elbow. He put his best lineup out there at the end of the game. And that was the starters with Oshai Abaji in the place of Scotty Barnes. So, yeah. No, Infamous. No, big strikeout on that one. No, you get a strike on that one. That's a bad comment. Kareem saying, I want an enforcer on the team, someone who throws punches first, asks questions later. We have those guys. I'm telling you right now, Scotty is an enforcer. He's like everything at this point. He's a magic. He's a scorer. He's a defensive player. He's this. And he also is like standing up. And in some ways, look, you got to understand, Scotty's still a young man. He's going to get more muscular. He'll get more surge-like. And he could very well be the franchise face and the enforcer at the same time. In some ways, it's better to have them separated because usually the enforcer can be in danger of getting thrown out of the game at different times. You know, on the download, once again, the
strong, silent presence of Jakob Poeltl is an enforcer kind of person, even though he's such a nice guy. He looks so nice and smiley. He's dangerously strong, and he can be very much a deterrent to people, trust me, with a smile. He's like, yeah, don't do that again. I will hit you with my forearm. And people will listen to that. So let's not get it twisted. There's enforcer kind of saying RJ's energy is very aggressive, and he's not backing down from anybody. So there's different levels. I mean, we could go to the dogs of Mitchell and Shed and say these guys, they've got a dog in them that can be very kind of aggressive. And I don't think they would back down from fights with people either. I mean, Mitchell's got some big arms, is what I'm saying. But yeah, an enforcer, it looks like it's Scott right now, honestly. Cowboys saying, let's go, Darko. I love that. Bryce is saying, question, how does Darko use rotations if we get fully healthy? Barbecue with Jakob and Grady? Yes. That's the starting lineup. And then the second unit is like Bruce, Oshai, Davion, Boucher, and Fernando, or Olenek. And then, I'm not putting the rookies on the second team because the Raptors are deep enough to have the rookies be 905 and two-way and just kind of in spot duty for injuries. Like I said, you guys like Jamal Shed. You want to see him play over Mitchell. Some of y'all are saying, he's better than Mitchell. He should be playing over him, which does there is an argument there. But he needs the seasoning down on 905. And in some ways, the top 10 players for the Raptors, none of them are rookies. No, not Jacoby, not Jonathan, not Jamal, and not Jameson. This is the starting five, Barbecue Yak Dick. And then you got Davion Mitchell, Oshai Abaji, Chris Boucher. Who else did you name? Bruce Brown Jr. and Kelly Olynyk as the five veterans off the bench to fill in there. Now, listen to that lineup. There's not as much inexperience as what we're playing with right now. And maybe the meeting of the two at some point this season is we're healthy mostly, and we're not playing as much of our young guys. Maybe Kelly Olynyk sitting out right now with his back injury is helping the young guys get their development now. And in some ways, that's how we got to balance it. How much do we want to play Bruce Brown Jr. and Kelly Olynyk when we want to play Jonathan Mobo and Jamal Shed? So it's like we got to balance this kind of stuff and understand there's a starting lineup, there's a veteran backup five, and then there's a five of rookies. And they are all in the mix of the flux, and Darko's going to figure out which amount of which to put together every game. And we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Jacoby Walter comes back. Emmanuel quickly comes back. Bruce Brown comes back. Well, let's see what those effects are, and we see what's up. Yeah. G. St. Kareem, I agree. They don't get to the line as it is. Teams become extra aggressive and injure our players with no consequence. This is the NBA. In some ways, life's not fair. In some ways, I wish we could just get a standing field of equality for everybody across the things, but this is not. Life isn't fair. People get born and with advantages and disadvantages. It's a great example of learning what privilege is. People think, oh, privilege. What is white privilege? What is privilege? I don't understand that. Well, there's very good examples of what the concept of privilege is in the NBA. The Boston Celtics have privilege. The Lakers obviously have some privilege because the ESPN just kisses their ass left and right. The Raptors are not getting privilege. And that's something for people in society that have privilege in their life. Somebody like me, I have privilege as a white male. It's like, I get all kinds of privileges that other people won't get. This is how you get to know that concept and actually understand it. Because as a person that has a lot of privilege in life, I can see how privilege works in the NBA with how the Raptors are treated. I mean, that's how you look at it. But this is the great thing. If you're the underdog, you're the team that has to go the harder route. You're the team that doesn't get handouts in the easiest way. That's the payoff. And that's just like the kid who didn't get any help and went to med school and became a doctor. And they feel that. And that's why the payoff when you do get successful is all the more sweeter. So that 2019, yeah, that was sweeter because we are not a privileged team in this league. And we have to overcome way more than some of the other teams. And that's just how it is. And we can whine and cry about it and be upset about it, or we could fucking try and beat their asses still against the odds, is what I say about that. Yeah. And I mean, it's true. It's true. There is a lot of aggressiveness that's allowed against the Raptors that's just not right. And if there was this stuff happened to other teams, well, there may be hell to pay in certain ways as far as things like this. Seriously. Yeah. No, Olynyk. That's right. Olynyk. That's right. Carlos saying, can you tell me what was wrong with his closing lineup, Infamous? Yeah, I want to know what was wrong. He played his best five that he had available at that time. It was Grady, Davion, Jakob, RJ, and Oshai. And that's the starters that were available for that night, with Oshai Abaji substituting in for Scotty Barnes since he could not play. And that was the most I don't know. Who would you put in? Would you put in Jamal Shed? He's a rookie, man. He's playing in his fourth game in his entire NBA career. You guys think that Jamal Shed, you're acting like he's Kyle Lowry. He's been in the league for 18 years. This dude is so green, and he is making rookie mistakes, even though he looks amazing with taking charges and doing all kinds of crazy veteran kind of stuff. That's his player build, but he's still making rookie mistakes, and he is not now. In some ways, he could have made a rookie mistake in the overtime and cost us the game by himself. So in some ways, Darko has to be smart about who he has out there. That's right. That's right. We are deep. Bryce is saying. That's right. We are deep. That's right. Blackhawk saying barbecue, aka Sir. They will be reunited soon. I like that. I like that. Randolph saying also, Lex, I do believe that if this team was at full strength, we would have been 3-0. The development is going well thanks to our coaches. The first game of the season, we lost for sure. Cleveland, they absolutely trounced us. Now, we could have possibly competed with Minnesota, but we didn't. But this game last night, we definitely was winnable. I was expecting us to be 2-2 after last night. And during the game, most of it, I was like, yeah, we're going to be 2-2. And then when we meet Charlotte on Wednesday, we'll be 3-2 and be a above 500 team, a winning team. But alas, it wasn't to be. And it is what it is. And we've gone over a lot why it is this way. That's right. That's right. Stargate saying, who's calling him Softy Barnes? I swear we have some degenerate fans. I don't even know if it's our fans. We've got to remember also, once again, there's no way of knowing who's coming from where with what and who they are. They can identify as being Raptors fans, but they could very well be not, and they're trolling. And, I'm seeing shit like this on our NBA.com highlights, and that's not even the Raptors highlights. That's the NBA. So there's like 20,000 people watching them. And it could be that random NBA fans just coming in there and chiming in and saying some bullshit to be disrespectful because they hate Toronto. They hate Scotty. And, so that's what I'm hearing. And then, like I said, on Raptors media places in this comment section, people are calling out for firing Darko. Well, they could very well be Sixers fans, Celtics fans, other Atlantic Division fans that want us to have chaos on our team and that want our fan base to be undermining and thinking about the leadership of Darko. This is the same tactic that's being used against our prime minister. In fact, in some ways, our prime minister looks a little bit like Darko. Maybe some people hate Darko because they think that he looks like Justin. And they're like, I hate Darko. He looks too much like our prime minister. I hate him because he made us stay home for the vaccine or some shit. I don't know. There's a lot of people that want you to hate different people, and they'll influence you too. So that's your choice. You want to take the bait and hate Darko because other people are saying that you should hate him. You want to hate Trudeau because other people are telling you should hate him. Well, you're fallen sheep then, in some ways. That's what I say about that. Yeah. Yeah. Cowboy's saying, I love how Shed plays and attacks the offense. Reminds me of Pinball Clemens. I like that. I like that analogy. Cowboy, I'm going to give you a dunk. That's pretty funny. That's pretty good, actually. Yeah, pinball. Maurice Jones-Drew kind of type. Yeah, you know old Maurice Jones-Drew. I guess the Toronto Argonauts, Jacksonville Jaguars kind of thing. All right, let's see. We're going to give you 5. You're at 189. 189, Cowboy, on the dunk list. Carlos saying, we really can't skip any steps for Darko and the team. You have to learn to win games like these. That's exactly right. And that's part of what casual fans want to understand is we have a whole new you guys can't think this is the 2019 team and that we just should be winning and doing everything with excellence like that team then. This is a totally different era, a totally different place where we are with our franchise. And this is part of the problem with Raptors fans. Y'all were spoiled with winning in the era of Masai. And now we have to do some difficult stuff in the trenches, and y'all aren't ready for it because you have unreasonable expectations for a team that is just not in the same place as it was 5 years ago. And that's, I think, why people say, oh, this loss stings and stuff like, why does it sting? It's obvious that we're a young team that hasn't figured out things. And we just played a very veteran team. And they knew what they were doing. In some ways, that's what it is right there. That is what it is right there. Let's see. Kareem saying, I kind of wish Darko was able to put real hands on Precious and see what he could have done. Yeah. Yeah, if he had had more time with him, I don't know. I'm not gonna woulda, coulda, shoulda. In some ways, it is what it is, and instead of Achua, it's Mobo. How about that? Yeah, and David says, "I think he's happier with Mobo." It could very well be. I think that, I don't wanna slight Precious because I do really like Precious as a person, and I think he's an amazing player. But I will say this, I think Jonathan has a little bit more going on up here than Precious, and that in some ways, cerebrally, there may be more that Jonathan can develop and learn into if he's not as athletically talented as Precious. If he's not exactly going to be, I don't know if he'll be as good as Precious, but there may be more options because he's more cognitive as far as learning and doing different things. That could be the difference between Mobo and Chua. Yeah. David's saying different, more of what we needed. Both good. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I could get behind what David's saying there. Kenny's saying we will learn from this. That's right. The team will learn. The coach will learn. Our fans will learn. Hopefully, idiots. So we said Otani's Dodgers contract is 95% deferred, 2 million a season for the next 9 years, and it's 689 million in year 10. Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. That it's such a crazy thing that the MLB is so weird, man. So weird. Infamous saying, sure, I would have had Mobo should have brought in for rebounding and defensive purposes. That's just one example. No, no. We're playing 4 of the champion Nuggets in a starting lineup. We're not playing rookies in the overtime. I'm sorry. You could think because Jonathan's done this or done that, he's not dependable in these situations. He doesn't have enough experience. If we've gone to the banana tree, he is as green as the grass in the summertime. I'm telling you guys. That's why Shed shouldn't be out there. That's why Battle shouldn't be out there because it's not time for them. Baby steps. They've already had so much thrown at them because of the early injuries for them. Mobo, you can think that, oh, he would have done this, he would have done that. No, no, he may have, and he may have been successful, but the room for margin of error and trusting him in a high pressure situation that he has not been in yet at the NBA level, it's a ridiculous call. And that's no, no, I'm not going to give you a strike, but this is weird, Infamous. It's all good. I love you, man. You're good. You're good. But yeah, no, you don't want rookies playing in overtime in a game that close against 4 champions. Seriously. G saying Gordon had 8 free throws. Yeah. Yeah. We were trying to mess him up. He was very good at the free throw line last night. And we were like, whoa, we had the clankers and the waving, the fans and doing everything, trying real hard. They could be worse, could be the Knicks. Sorry, Milbester. They went all out, and we are in the same spot right now. Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. In some ways, I'm really worried for the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets are going to suck for a long time now. They're going to be in trouble. Yeah, Smooth saying correction. He will get paid 689 million once he's retired. Oh, he's getting all his money when he retires. That's ridiculous. How do they even do that? That seems like such a racket. Infamous is saying Darko saw the game slipping and he did speed up the pace of game. We didn't take advantage of Jokic resting to extend the lead. I knew we were done. We done when we didn't do that. Look, all the stuff that you see at home and what you perceive isn't necessarily what's going on in the game. I'm telling you this right now. Listen, the Jokic stuff, they tried to match him up with Jakob as much as possible. Jokic is a special player. Once again, Infamous. I gave you a multitude of all kinds of reasoning for why things happened the way they did last night, and saying little nitpicky things like, you're giving him credit for speeding up the pace of the game, but we didn't take advantage of when Jokic was resting. How often was Jokic resting yesterday? Oh my God, the dude played 44 of the 48 minutes. You're talking about 4 minutes of the game, although it was overtime, so it was 9 minutes of the game. 9 minutes of the game that Jokic didn't play, bro. Come on, man. You're being nitpicky. You're being nitpicky. Smooth saying, as a point of reference, Otani makes not 49 million a year in endorsements. He's revered in Japan like a god. The dude's very rich. All right. KM saying there was a couple of times late in the fourth, I thought Jakob had a 7-foot push shot open for him. I'd like to see him take those. It's his bread and butter, and Jokic was slacking off. Nevertheless, I saw one of those points also, but he deferred and he looked for the pass instead of taking it. He was open. There was one at the free throw line that he passed up that was late in the game. In some ways, I don't know. That was his decision at that time. You might be right that he should have probably taken that shot. I noticed that moment too. I did. And but he decided to do the other thing, and I don't know. We didn't get a score on that possession. That's right. So maybe he should have taken that open shot right there. There are often times where the Raptors get good position in the lane, or they Scotty gets down low, or Jakob gets down low, and they get like in the old NBA. If you get that close to the basket, you need to take it up because the higher percentage shot is close to the basket. But in the new NBA, you can get established like battlefront lines up near the basket, and then they pass it out to the three-point shooter for a lower percentage shot all of a sudden because the three-point shot is so valued. That annoys me. As an old basketball head watching this sport for 40 years, it always annoys me when you establish paint presence and you have the ball down there and you see the ability, like, because there used to be times where the Raptors struggled just to get the fucking ball into the paint. Like, think about Nick Nurse years with them trying to skate it around the edge and nobody could get it inside and get any paint presence. Right now, we're getting in the paint easy, but we're getting it in there, establishing a position near the basket, and then we're throwing it back out to a three-point shooter. That, I guess, is the metrics of the new NBA and overvaluing the three-point shot, but it still drives me nuts. And there's times where Scott should be taking the shot himself when he's in the lane, and he's passing it to a three-point shooter instead. It's the higher percentage shots there. And that may be the case that we're talking about right here with Jakob KM. Right there, right there. Yeah. Stargate saying, laugh out loud. The Bill Kennedy impression. That's savage, Lex. That's not bad. I mean, that's pretty fair, right? We've heard him. I love Bill. He's a karaoke master. He's probably my favorite ref in the whole entire NBA. So it's an honor. He has a great voice. It's not like me trying to, disrespect him, honestly. And honestly, he would be looking out for us at the replay center. He would be. Smooth saying, Yuta Watanabe and Otani are really good friends as well. Goof friends. That's cool. That's good to know. Cream saying, I know it sounds crazy, but we have natural winners in Battle and Shed. We do. We do in IQ and RJ also, and Scotty. We have natural winners on this team. In fact, that may be part of the DNA that we've been trying to collect for this edition of the Raptors right now. Obviously, it's hard to implement them into a game under 30 seconds, but both players have a knack for a big shot or a steal. Yeah. In Battle and Shed. Well, once again, it's so early on their journeys. In some ways, they have to see this and yearn to be out there, and that Darko would call their number. 23, get in there. I want to see you try and take the shot. But I don't trust Shed for anything shooting wise right now. I don't trust him for making a layup or a three-pointer to help us win. He's not that good of a shooter right now. He's a winning kind of player, and he makes winning plays with like taking charges and maybe some dogged defense, but he's not a clutch player offensively right now. He could be down the road. Now, Jameson, he could be a clutch player in the end of the game, but we've got a guy in the depth chart that's ahead of him. And he was out there instead playing that role that Jameson could have. Now, you want to go battle dick formation in the overtime and have battle dick out there? Well, maybe just space the floor and get things going. But once again, we got to talking about a guy who's playing in his fourth game. And honestly, a month ago, he wasn't even guaranteed to be in the NBA right now. So what are we doing here, guys? We microwaving our team, trying to cook them up real fast and put them out there way before they're ready. As somebody said just a couple comments ago, every step in the right order. And in some ways, if you got dick out there, I don't think you need battle. I don't think you need battle, is what I'm saying right there. Yeah, Kareem, all respect. G saying infamous. Also, if our team had experience, the players on the court could have pulled it off. Kyle would have known what to do to close it out and been on the court, coach, in my opinion. They will learn. Yeah. Yeah. All in good time. You guys got to understand. Y'all hated Fred so much. You wanted to kick him out. Well, this is what happens when you don't have Fred on your team. And the Rockets get the benefits of Fred and knowing the smart things to do to close a game out to make sure you win. And in some ways, we need that treasure map once again that Freddie had. Freddie had the treasure map that knew how to win games, just like Kyle did before him. And well, we got to get Jamal that treasure map drawn up so he knows how to do it. Yeah, we're going to get there. IQ, he'll have that treasure map also. Yep. Monique saying, good to catch up with Randy last night. Again, they don't know what they're doing with Raptors tonight. So basically, Lex got your message across. Okay, I appreciate that. Yeah, I was wondering what's going on with Raptors tonight. They're not really doing the show like they diligently like they did before. I guess they don't want to do it anymore. Maybe it's because the season's kind of Maybe they're going to have a hard time hanging around after every game and talking about losses. I don't know. It's very interesting. I miss it. I wish Randy Urban and them would come back and do the Raptors tonight. In fact, Adriana and I were sitting in Real Sports right next to where they shoot it. And I was like, yeah, this is where they do Raptors tonight. I wonder why they haven't been doing it this year. I was wondering that. Well, Mo, thanks for asking Randy personally why it's not going on. He said they're not sure what they're going to do with Raptors tonight this year. That's very interesting. Thank you, Mo. You're a Raptors insider, and I'm going to give you a dunk for information. As usual, that's Mo's forte. She's an information specialist for the Raptors fan nation, and she knows her stuff. So she's getting a dunk. She's going to 225 on the dunk chart. There you go. Thank you for the info on Randy. That's right. Blackhawks saying Darko should call timeout. The team is in learning mode. The opportunity will come again. What is better is making sure the players know what to do. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't argue with that too. Settle down and give them a play and actually set it up and see if they can execute. But the call was made to do this. And in some ways, it's like Darko echoed the same thing that RJ said after the game, that the free flowing of the transition and them not being set allows you an opportunity to kind of try and get them on their heels easier than a half court setup after a timeout. And that's the whole exact reason why that didn't happen in that way. And in some ways, you call a timeout, you give them the opportunity to set up their defensive scheme against your offensive scheme. And maybe because they're the veteran championship team, they have their shit together and their huddle a little bit better than us as a young team, and they execute better off the timeout. I mean, there's different ways we could look at this. There's a spreadsheet for the Raptors 905 training camp. If you guys want to see in that link at 1022 on the timestamp, that is our team for 905 in training camp right now. Blackhawks saying the other side was not great. They had more experience, and it's all on Jokic's shoulders. This is not a recipe for success. Yeah, they're in trouble. The Western Conference is deep, and it has a lot of teams that are deep with players, and the Nuggets are not deep. The Nuggets are not deep. You go Jokic, Murray, and after that, it gets real hairy. After that, yeah, it gets real hairy after that. Kareem saying, I agree with Neil. Calling a timeout ensures everyone is on the same page, and so is Michael Malone and the Nuggets. I'm just saying. I mean, that's the other part of it right there. Let's see. Blackhawks saying, good. Carlson is on the 905. Hopefully he can bulk up on the team. Yeah, this is good. And I know he felt a little ashamed. He deleted his Instagram for that little bit of time. In fact, he blocked me, I think. He may be aware of things I was saying about him about making the team. But then he's unblocked me. But I'm not following him now. I'm not allowed to follow him or something. I don't know. But I see he's out there, and he's repping Raptor stuff again. So he's in the fold, but he's in the 905 fold. Now, the thing is, Brendan, you have a path to get to the Raptors still. It's just you got to go through the G League now. And if this season's anything like last year, you might get a chance, honestly. Seriously, you might get a chance. Dylan Disu is back. Dylan Disu is on our 905 roster. And they will cut a couple of these players. Right now, initially, looking at that spreadsheet, I would cut Tyreek Key, Devontae Bandu, even though he's Canadian, and Evan Gilliard, and keep Kennedy Chandler and Chris Voigt, because Kennedy Chandler's had more NBA experience already, and he's kind of got some talent. We saw him at Summer League. And then Chris Voigt, we just need more center kind of stuff around, because Carlson's really the only true center on the 905 roster right now. But yeah, the rest of it looks good. And they are going to be very talented. Now, we lost Jared Rhoden. He was going to be on 905, but the Hornets came and got him on a two-way. So he's actually on a two-way with the Charlotte Hornets at this point. So, but he would have been on our team. Yeah. G saying, I think it's about philosophy. I'm about instinct playing. The best of the best play on instinct, which takes reps in high pressure situations. Timeouts aren't always possible. Yeah. I mean, I'm not mad at them for not calling the timeout. I'm not mad at RJ for the shot. It is what it is, and it's a learning experience, and that's what it is. That's right. Yeah, Blackhawks saying, right on, KT. You guys are supporting each other on that. That's cool. Kareem saying, Carlson going to be on the Raptors if Kelly Olynyk continues to be injury prone. Maybe. I don't know. Once again, my knock on Carlson is he can't defend in the NBA because he's not strong enough. If he gets on that Grady Dick weightlifting around Christmas regiment, maybe he does. Maybe he does. Cowboys saying Batman Barnes is going to go Darko mode when he's back. It's going to be put in teams in the shed quickly. I like that. And he puts all the little heads in there with it. And he's like being really punny. All right, Cowboy, you want more dunks. You're going to get more dunks for being punny and using the emoticons. Maybe I need to get a new emoticon giant. Is anybody interested in being an emoticon giant on this channel? 194 for Cowboy. I'd say maybe Isaac Campbell.
should be the emoticon giant, maybe a cowboy. I don't know. Does that anybody want to be the emoticon giant? Do you know what that means? You know what it means. I might need an emoticon giant soon. And also, remember, guys, we're going to have our first Raptor Freak meet and greet on December the 8th at the Paramount Fine Food Center. We're going to go to the Raptors 905 versus Westchester Knicks. It's a Sunday afternoon game at 2 p.m. So if you want to come to Mississauga on that Sunday and sit with Lex and a bunch of other Raptor freaks, well, that's our first get together in person for the season. So I hope you guys can make it and get your arrangements together to be able to come out there for that. It's going to be my first 905 game. And I think that it'd be fun to be there with a bunch of our people from our channel. So yeah, circle the calendar, December the 8th, 2 p.m., Paramount Fine Food Center. If you show up and you just know me, you see me, we'll walk up to me and we'll sit down and we'll all hang out in the arena, or tell me you're coming through here and we'll arrange for you to see to us to be all together. So yeah, Westchester Knicks, December the 8th, 2 p.m., Paramount Fine Food Center. Get to it and you'll be there with me and the other Raptor freaks that show up too. It'll be a lot of fun. Let's see. Carlos saying, I'm okay with the last play. Darko's empowering RJ to make in-game decisions. He missed it last night, but you need that person in the future. Exactly. Exactly. We don't want it. He doesn't lose any confidence from what happened last night. He'd take it again. He'd take it over and over again. He's not scared of it. That's the important thing. Some people would be scared to do it. RJ's not. And that's the important thing right there. Stargate saying, Mobo is on record saying he usually wakes up early in the morning anyways. He's not a sleep in kind of person. There you go. I like that. I like that. Well, it's his birthday. He should be able to sleep in if he wants to, but no, it's media day for the 905. So you better get down to Mississauga, Jonathan, even though you played in a Raptors game last night into overtime. That's right. G saying Messi, LeBron, MJ, Brady don't need to be micromanaged. They play on instincts. If we want Scotty and RJ to be the best, they need to get out of high pressure situations on their own, in my opinion. Yeah. I mean, we have two different sides here. Call the timeout. Don't call the timeout. It's all valid. It's all valid. I think that I can see the side that Neil and Kareem are saying, that you want the opportunity to coach your young players and teach them something in that moment. Well, maybe if it was the rookies, like we said, it was Shed, Battle, and Mobo out there, obviously he'd have to take the timeout. But because that is a more veteran squad of the Raptors with Jakob and RJ and Oshai and Davion, then these guys kind of been there, done that, and they know how the drill is without calling the timeout in that situation. So, I mean, you know, in some ways, he could always go over this stuff after the game if he doesn't call the timeout and say, guys, if I had called the timeout, this is what I would have done, and then teach the young players that way too. So the opportunity to do it is still there, even if he didn't do it in the game. Even if he didn't do it in the game. Yeah, and G saying, Carlos saying exactly to G. Neil saying the team is young. Communication matters more. Otherwise, we will get JFL type of scenarios. I prefer they play together. RJ needs to remember that as a leader, that is supposed to make others better. Yeah, that's something that Scott obviously very much. He was one assist off a triple-double last night. Gets that he wants to make other people better. Let's not get it twisted, though. RJ makes other people better because the threat he is as a driving force to the basket. In some ways, he has to get respected defensive coverage, and he will make other guys better, like Grady, because people have to really kind of hedge and come over and maybe double on RJ all of a sudden. So, and RJ is not a bad passer either. So I get what you're saying. Listen, there's no Javon Freeman Liberties on this team right now. I don't see anybody that's like him, as far as they're just so selfish that they continuously just shoot the ball every time they get the ball. No, there's none of that. Gary Trent Jr. was a little bit like that last year too. But no, there's not anything like that, because we've got point guards that play like point guards, and we got bigs that pass like point guards too. And the stuff in between, you know, RJ may be the guy who calls his number the most out of anybody on the team, but that's because he is one of the best scorers on our team, and he should be shooting the ball more than other people, is what I'm saying. So let's see. Stargate saying Oshai is developing real well. Also, if Jacoby can become a Jamal Crawford type player for the Raptors, we'll take it. I love that comparison, because I love Jamal Crawford and his player build. And you know what? I could see this possible. Seriously, if there's any Jamal Crawford and Jacoby Walter, we'll be in good shape. That'll be awesome. That'd be so awesome. Carlos saying you do that in a video review sessions. Reps like last night is so valuable for RJ. See, Carlos saying something almost 90 minutes ago that I just said without reading it. I don't know. I must be really kind of clairvoyant today, honestly. I must be very clairvoyant today. I'm predicting the future pretty good right now. It's kind of crazy. Kareem saying, I love how our team has individual delegated roles from top to bottom. Every player knows their role and strengths. That is very important. Some teams and players, their job title gets conflicted. Hello. Talk about the Raptors in the last few years with Nick Nurse. Nobody knew their roles. So nobody knew what jobs they were supposed to be taking care of. And this is way more clear under Darko's system. And Kareem is exactly right. This is a breath of fresh air for Raptors fans who went through a few years where there was like a lot of things that just weren't getting done because there was a lot of the similar kind of wing players that could do everything. Well, nobody's actually defining who's doing what and the roles. The roles do not get done. And this is a big upgrade from Nurse days to Darko Rajakovic days. Stargate saying, yeah, that young lady ref is really good. She's better than some of the vet refs that have been around for years, and she's basically still a new ref. Yeah, she's only in her second year, and that was the second game she's ever ref for us. Yeah, all right. You guys are really big on Sheree. All right, I'll keep a watch on her, and I'll realize the Raptor freaks think that she's pretty good. Maybe we'll see her some more this year. We might. We might. Carlos saying Scotty looked like a boxer getting a KO. He should be fine. Hopefully, no broken orbital bone. We'll see. David is saying from his own experience, it looks like that. We'll have to see. Nako's saying we're doing some work to pass not with no looks, but through our peripheral vision, which I like, can throw off some teams. You're talking about look off passes. Like that's one of the things where teams are so good, they'll telegraph where you're looking. And it's kind of like what quarterbacks do in football. You got to kind of like off look so that you're kind of throwing them off. Scotty does this all the time. Like he's all about no looks. Like he'll be looking this way and he'll throw it to the side, and Grady's got it for 3 to the side of him. Yeah, that's normal basketball stuff, Gerald. That's stuff that Magic Johnson basketball players have been doing in the NBA since the beginning. Cowboys saying, love this team right now. And Masai ain't done yet. Let's go. I hope he's done for right now. Maybe trade Bruce Brown. But honestly, this team's pretty good the way it is right now. I just want to see them continue to grow within. And I'm not really wanting to switch guys out in and out too often unless necessary, unless it does upgrade our team and make it better. Otherwise, let them all grow together, because the more plants that grow together in your garden together, well, that's better. Carlos saying, and anti-Bruno fans slept good last night. DMP. Yeah, I don't think the matchup was good for Bruno. And I don't know. Anybody who's like that, they should just STF. You. Yeah. Yeah. Listen, I think it's just the matchup wasn't conducive for Bruno to be out there. And, that's the luxury of having a Bruno Fernando out there, is like he doesn't necessarily have to play. We can utilize him if we want to. And yeah, I don't think that anybody should be anti-Bruno. If there's anti-Bruno fans out there, do something better with your life. How about that? It's a kind of a very niche kind of thing to be. Andrew saying, is it true Jacoby has already been put on the 905? Yes. He was added to the 905 yesterday, and it's primarily due to he needs a rehab assignment to get into game shape to play. And the Raptors are going to be playing games too much, so there's not really good opportunities for it. Nako saying, I saw a video on Twitter. Jacoby was in a 905 jersey. Yes. Yeah, he's officially assigned there. It doesn't mean he'll be there for long. In some ways, it's a rehab assignment for his injury. And it doesn't necessarily mean he's 905 for the whole season. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. Nako's saying, oddly enough, I find fans are more friendly and into it when I watch them in Detroit as opposed to Scotiabank. Well, let's think about this, Gerald. If you go to Detroit to watch the game, you're a real one because you're willing to drive far and cross the border. Also, I'll say the people that are going to Raptors fans, half of them are not going for the right reasons. They're going there to drink beer and eat food and just hang out with their friends. And they're not necessarily going to watch the team or try and cheer them on. Some of them go just for the experience. Some of them go to schmooze with corporate clients. And they just want, there's all kinds of stupid reasons why people go to Raptors games. But if you're going to go all the way the fuck to Little Caesars Arena across the border in Windsor, you're a real one. And those Raptors fans are real ones. And I can see why this would happen. That's right. Duke Rocks is here. Jason Dukes is in the house. Original Raptor Freak fantasy champion. At the crucial moment at the end of the game, why didn't Darko play his best free throw players? 3-point versus 2 points was huge. I would have had Grady and Battle on the floor. You knew Denver was fouling. Yeah, they may have been fouling, but that doesn't mean James Capers was blowing the whistle. I mean, we're not playing to get fouls. I mean, in some ways, I wish we would. RJ probably should have been on the line way more than 0 the whole entire game. Jason, you got to think about the logic of this. We can't play to try and get to the free throw line if the referees don't call us any whistles.
So in some ways, we need the guys who are going to convert and make the baskets. And I already kind of went over why Battle shouldn't be out there because he's kind of duplicitous with Grady Dick. And Grady Dick was playing the role of the floor spacing 3-point shooter outlet on the court. And having both of them out there may have been overkill. And maybe the trade off of taking him out compared to Davion or Oshai is not good for the defense in other ways with Jamison Battle. Once again, I will say Jamison Battle is in his 4th game ever. And honestly, he wasn't even going to be in the NBA 2 weeks ago. He just got signed and put in the NBA on a 2-way like that. So let's all due time, Jason. Let Jamison Battle get his time in clutch down the road. It wasn't yet the time yet last night. That's right. Monique saying, I meant to write Raptors tonight in reference to the show. No, it's all good. It's all good. You're good, Monique. G saying they go at Grady. He is not good enough on defense to close out close games. Battle and Oshai essentially have the same free throw percentage, which is really odd for Battle to be a 75% only from the line. I don't see the sample size is big enough because this man is games once again. Give him some time. He could be a 90% free throw shooter by Christmas. It's just, in some ways that's, I think that G's right mostly in his point for sure. Is that it's like, yeah, I don't ever think about the guys you have to have on the court at the end of the game have to be the best free throw shooters, but that is the hack a Shaq theory. It's like you can't have Shaq at the end of the games because he's going to shoot 50% and they'll just hack him. In some ways that would be why you like say, okay, we can't play Jakob at the end of the game, which is something that Nick did when we first reacquired Jakob Poeltl. He would bench Jakob at the end of games purely because other teams would foul him and they knew that he would be 50%. Well, Darko can play Jakob at the end of games because he's shooting like 90% right now from free throws. He improved his shot. So, I mean, there's a little bit of that in what Duke is saying there. Let's see. Nameless is saying, I was impressed with everybody last night. See, there you go. Buongiorno to my paisano, the Italian plumber, Nameless. I want to say your name is Mario, but it isn't. It isn't. He's not the Italian plumber Mario from the Mario Brothers world. Jason Duke saying, I got smoked by Toronto Shamshays last night. Who is this guy? Got a great team. That's Andrew. That's Rookie of the Year, Andrew. And he's in the comment just below you. Yeah, and he's going to be a tough competitor. Well, that's only one night. You got all week. You got till Sunday. So we'll see what happens over the whole week. Andrew saying, haha, best of luck, Dukes. That's right. It's Andrew. Nameless is saying, we're watching Oshai and Grady take tremendous steps forward in their career right before our eyes. Mobo, again, with a great defensive game. Yeah, there's a lot of good, bright spots. Just the execution was not enough, just barely not enough to get that W. Just barely not enough. Just barely. There's like 10 or 15 things that could have gone differently, and the Raptors totally win this game last night. Jason saying, haha, Andrew, it is your team. Goddamn, I'm in for a rough week. I love that camaraderie. And thank you, Monique, for the cutoff. We are doing a Lexathon of 3 hours on the reaction to last night. Of course, there was overtime last night. There better be overtime in the reaction stream. Most saying, W stream, W vibes. Keep at it always, Lex. Go Raptors for life. Good times. Raptor free crew. Strong forever. That's right. I love you, Mo. Thank you for the cutoff. Name was saying, how is that not a flagrant foul on Barnes with that Jokic elbow? Not even a review. You've got to be kidding. Yeah, he was on the floor and they continued playing. They didn't respect that in any kind of way. Yeah, it was kind of messed up. They thought Scotty was playing or he was crying wolf or he was just like overreacting or flopping. That's not the case. And that's kind of bullshit, James Capers. That Jokic got away with murder, man. Yeah. Carlos saying super mad about that non-call on Grady fast break. Jeez. Yeah, the one where he flubbed the layup and Russell was near him. And he honestly got fouled there. That was one that kind of pissed me off too. Because Grady's really good at finishing in transition, and he's done it with contact too in games so far this year. That layup could have changed the game completely and been a win for us there. Like that could have been one of the spots. RJ steps out of bounds. Davion misses a free throw. Grady doesn't make that layup. RJ doesn't make the three. Jakob and Grady don't make the offensive rebounds right at the end of the overtime. There's all kinds of scenarios where we do better, and we just need to know when to execute and get that done so that it makes it add up to that. That's it. That's it. It's just how it is, man. Andrew saying, Dukes, your team's pretty solid as well. That dude's really good. Jason Dukes won the first season we did this, and he's coming in the top 3 in every season we've done it. So you're up against a good one. Most saying, shut up, and Cooper already in the T word. That's right. She's telling me to shut up on saying capture the flag and the T word. That's right. She's saying that to me and all the Raptors fans out there that are all about tanking to get Cooper flag. Just shut up. We may lose on purpose. No, we're not. We just may lose, and it just happens naturally, and that we get to somewhere anyway. That's right. Maybe we get Ace Bailey. Maybe we get somebody like that. Who knows? Name is saying that elbow on Scotty gave Jokic a competitive advantage to rebound the ball. I don't care what anybody says. That's a good point. Now, I want to disagree with that. Duke's saying, yeah, some injuries, but it's the numbers your team was putting up was crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Randolph saying, Lex, in the replay, you can see a referee right there on the baseline when Scott got hurt, and he could have blown the whistle. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say I. You guys know I do the ref report, and I told y'all that all three of the refs statistically favor the Nuggets. Even Aaron Smith, who's absolutely a great ref for us normally, he just slightly favors the Nuggets more than us. Ref report undefeated. I'm sorry, the ref report really does give us an idea of how good our chances are. Andrew saying, yeah, I tried to grab a bunch of guys who got a lot of rebounds and assists. Okay, you guys are talking fantasy. I got to make sure I skip you guys for a bit. Black because I'm overtime. I can't be doing fantasy at this point. Blackhawks saying when there is a huge free throw disparity, the league should investigate the refs. Why? Because they're doing the bidding of what they want. This is the thing. In some ways, you're gonna have them govern themselves when they're doing exactly what they wanted them to do. I'm telling you, there's probably a piece of paper in a garbage can somewhere in the Scotiabank Arena that has a bulletin point that says never call free throws fouls for RJ Barrett. If he does get fouled, side out because it's not in his shooting form. In some ways, they do that to RJ because he has such a sweeping motion coming to the basket. And if he's coming up and he hasn't collected himself at a certain point, and they hit him on his arm early, they'll say foul, but he's not going the line. It's a side out. So that's what I'm saying. There may very well be a piece of paper in the garbage at Scotiabank Arena right now for the refs before the game that says don't let RJ Barrett shoot any free throws, because that may have been one of their goals that the NBA wanted for them, because they realized, oh, RJ gets free throws. We want to frustrate him, first of all, because he went home, and we want to give him the Canadian discount, being the Canadian at home. And in some ways, we want to make Raptors players not really want to be on Toronto on the down low because we don't give them favorable calls, and it's easier to be in other places. So the people that want to be in Toronto have to really want to win and be tough as nails and going through the hard way. And in some ways, they see RJ's like relishing it. He loves it because he's home. He's playing for the home crowd. And he's eating it up. They just say, yeah, you want to be home, RJ, but you're not going to get the free throw line ever again, because this is how we deal with the Raptors. I mean, they did this shit to Siakam for years, guys. Siakam was getting fouled all the time, and they never, ever put him on the line. Yeah, they do it to Scotty now, too. You see how often Scotty's going to the basket. He gets hit, and he's like, afterwards. It's the same shit. And the common denominator is this team on my hat is right there. That's it, right there. Seriously. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. All right, let's see. Where am I? What did I read? Okay. G saying at one point the Raps almost had 20 more points in the paint, more rebounds, steals, essentially everything, but the Nuggets had double the free throws. Yeah, they were keeping them in the game to a degree. I won't disagree with that. We outplayed them. We played really good. There's so many encouraging things. The tape is really good from last night. And in some ways, while they're watching it today, they can point out some mistakes, and they can even talk about, well, if this had been done just slightly different, we win. We win. It's that easy. Carlos saying, oh, man, Masai and Bobby going to be called geniuses by filling out the bench with 4-year college rookies from the second round. Yeah. Yeah. This may be the second coming of Pascal, OG, Norman, and DeLon. Seriously, this might be alley-oop to Blackhawk. That's what Nako wants. All right, I can give Neil a dunk real quick. We'll give him a 5-pointer. You're at 67. 67 for Neil. All right, where am I? Whoa, why is that all lit up like that? Okay, anyway, I got to keep going. Duke saying, gee, I hear you. This is the story of the Raptors when they play close games with NBA darlings. Well, my rule for the Raptors has always been you have to have a 10-point lead or the referees will screw you. And in some ways, they were dancing around with that 10-point lead for a lot of this game, but the Nuggets closed the gap at the end of the game, and they ate up that 10-point lead. So maybe this was a case where the 10-point lead wasn't enough. They needed a 15 or 20-point lead to hold them off. If they gotten it up to 15 or 20, then maybe they could have held them off, and the 10-point surge in the last 10 minutes of regulation don't happen. That's what I'm saying right there. Yeah, IQ plays in OT, we win. I could say, yeah, IQ plays in this game, we probably win this game. Yeah, that's probably something I could say. He'd be an upgrade for Davion. I'm sure he would be. Wayne's saying game last night was a statement game in the sense we are playing to win. Did we hurt ourselves by one too many turnovers? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we were playing to win, and I think that we did good. And some people, actually, jackasses, will probably say, "No, we're not playing to win. We didn't win. Why didn't we not be successful?" Well, go to the start of my stream. If you're not live, watch me at 1.5 or 1.75 speed, and I'll give you all kinds of a laundry list of reasons why the Raptors just barely lost last night. I can give you a whole list. That's right. That's right. Make sure the refs aren't betting. Yep. Yep. Scott Foster. Andrew saying, I mean, it's pretty sick that our injured rebuilding team took 2023 champions to overtime. It's not exactly the Nuggets, but it is 4 out of their 5 starters. It's really the rest of them are gone, though. It's really 4 of the champions. And to me, Blackhawks saying Puerto Rico, a beautiful island in the sea, just like Jamaica. All right, there you go. There you go. I like that. Yeah, and there we go. Smooth got the classic card. Nako saying 4 a.m. Lex, that's demon hours. Well, I was amped up. The energy of the building came home with me. I had to drive all the way the fuck back out here, and driving in the truck and listening to music loud at like midnight last night. I get pumped up, and then I come home and I smoke a bowl and I watch the highlights from watching them and all the interviews, and I'm just like rewatching them over and over again, listening to Darko and Grady, not Grady, who was the RJ and Davion was the two. Yeah, listening to their interviews over and over again and picking up on what they were saying and stuff like that. Hang on, where was I? No, 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 no. Hang on, it jumped ahead. Man, there's still a lot of comments. Definitely don't give me any more comments. I do want to finish these all out, and I will go a little bit over 3 hours. I will go a little bit 3 hours. Yeah, holy crap. You guys really filled it up today, but that's good because you guys had a lot to say today. Andrew saying buy a lottery ticket today, Lex. I'm thinking that, yeah. Blackhawk saying Tony Hinch, whatever, is a self-hating comedian. His pain comes from being bullied as a gay person. If you can beat join a method does not work, Tony. Okay, I don't even know what that reference is exactly. I don't know who that guy is. Nako saying sad to say Fred might be having his worst year this year. This is way too early to declare this. What are you talking about, Nako? Man, oh my gosh. Anybody making bold statements about anything right now, other than maybe the direction of teams and way they're going, you can't do this. This is such a small sample size. And Freddie is not having his worst year. I'm sure he's having a lot of good stuff happening, that even if his stats don't look right, because he's an X factor, even if he's just on the court playing. Andrew saying Rockets fans are upset that Fred is hijacking their offense and taking shots away from their younger guys. This just sounds like the Fred hate in the Toronto Raptors fan nation has moved there, and it's ridiculous. It's misinformed. It's misinformed. Stargate saying at Blackhawk, why would the league investigate whom themselves mandate just to do that? Exactly. That's the same thing I said. Trevor saying Denver plays Nets tonight. Look to see how this game goes. I'd love to see Jordy beat their ass, honestly. And they got a good chance. They're coming in all wound up from overtime, and they don't have depth. They obviously don't have depth on their team. So go get it, Dennis. I'll be rooting for Brooklyn tonight. I will. Blackhawks saying Jokic knocking Scotty in the eye is 100% accident. Scotty came up behind Jokic, so Jokic would not see Scotty when reaching for the ball. Westbrook performed a dirty play. No question about that. Yeah, I'd still say, listen, even if he didn't see him, he knows there's a body behind him, and he's flailing his arm in a dangerous way. It's just like Joel falling around and like falling on top of people or swinging arms around like this. That's kind of how Jokic's arm, if you look at the play, he hits back like this. And he kind of can sense that Scotty's behind him if he can't see him. So there's dirtiness to it. You swing a limb like this, that's dirty. Trust me. And yeah, you can say that it was an accident, but if he sensed this guy's behind him, he may not have tried to land it on his eyeball, but he was lashing. You can look at the play, you can see it. Nako saying Jokic should have been fouled, but that was not an accident. That was an accident. You're saying that was an accident. Jokic should have been called a foul, but you think it was an accident? I think it's an accident where it landed, but I think it's an irresponsible kind of movement with your arm, is what I'm saying. Because it wasn't going after the ball. The ball was over here, and he's hitting this way. He's hitting this way. That's not going after the ball. The ball's over here, and he's hitting with his left arm this way. Scott's behind him, and he hits him in the face. That's how I looked at it very closely because I wanted to see what it was so I could talk about it on the channel with a knowledgeable base on it.
Stargate saying infamous. You got you out of pocket with that comment, bro. I love it. I love it when you guys stand up for this team, man. Scotty was 1 assist away from a triple double and got whacked in the face by a 250-pound, 7'1" beast. That's right, 6'10", whatever it is. 280-pound, whatever it is. Fred Flintstone, body looking ass. Let's see. Stargate saying Jokic is not 6'10". That's what he's listed at, but he ain't 6'10". Come on now. All right, we don't want to argue about the size of this guy. We all know Scotty Barnes is actually 6'11". And RJ Barrett is not 6'6". He's actually 6'8". Come on, we know that all the heights are all weird in the whole league. That's right. Thick boy. That's the way to do it. That's right. Blackhawks saying the way the league goes, teams try to keep their bench stocked with point guards at least 3 level deep. I can see Shed getting little to none time with the 9-on-5. We talked about this already, Neil, and I told you why this isn't going to be the case. I told you why. You want to know the 3 point guards on the Raptors depth chart on the regular Raptors are? It's IQ, Davion Mitchell, and Scotty Barnes. Yeah. Yeah, there's your 3 point guard depth that you were saying is necessary for that team. The number 1 point guard for 905 this year, Jamal Shed, and rightfully so. He needs to go down there and be this year's Marquise Noel. That's just the damn truth, seriously. And we'll go to the game on December the 8th. I hope you'll join us, and you'll see Jamal Shed starting point guard for the 905 on December the 8th. Watch. You will. That's right. 280 pounds, even worse. Thick boy. That's right. Nako saying Jokic ain't as tall as Yak. He's not 7 foot. Okay, you guys are arguing about his height. I might skip over some of this. All right, let's see. Kareem saying Puerto Rico is a gem. I got involved with cartel when I was there. Very scary, but Puerto Rico is the best vacation I ever had. Even their gangsters were super pleasant. I don't even know. When did we bring up Puerto Rico? I don't even remember talking about Puerto Rico today. This is weird. Stargate saying Molly Weir and beyond are supposedly Raptors fans, but every single chance they get, they totally disrespect Darko as well as the front office over and over again. You know, maybe partly their personalities. They may be kind of like, they want to be critics. They want to be like people that are knowledgeable. And by showing they're knowledgeable is by critiquing. You know, I've never liked that Molly Weir girl that's on Twitter. She's so full of shit. I do not trust that you know what you're fucking talking about, Molly. I trust what Beyond knows what he's talking about because he has made good points. And I like what he said about using Scotty like with the turnarounds and doing more stuff. I think he's right with that. But I don't like how they attack our coach for no reason. In some ways, maybe they do it for engagement. In some ways, maybe, you know, I often say this. The way people root for their team is a reflection of how they feel about themselves. In some ways, I'm a very happy person with myself. So I'm very happy, like being a happy person and positive with my team. In some ways, they think they're helping things, but you really think you know more than Darko and his coaches, Molly Weir. Like you could help them make their team better. No, you don't. No, you don't. So a pause is what I say. And yeah, you're right, Stargate. And they disrespect Darko unnecessarily. And then sheep follow them and they echo it. And that it puts pressure on our coach that is unnecessary. In some ways, our coach is doing a good job and he doesn't need all this outside noise. Thank God y'all don't mean jack shit in the world, honestly, but you're a part of that noise and you encourage more of it. And that's why I hate that kind of shit because it's not necessary. In some ways, we want to protect Darko to be able to coach this team for a long time and be successful. And y'all want to pick him apart and get him fired? Well, you're not going to like the outcome for our franchise if you continuously take apart whoever's in charge of our team. That may work in Leaf Nation to get nowhere in the playoffs and out in the first round every single year. That's what you want, Molly Weir? You want to be like Leaf Nation? Well, keep acting like you do with your criticism of our coach because that's what you'll get. That's why I'm smarter than you. And I understand we need to stand with our coach like Scotty stands with his coach and believe in him. And you know what? I will tell you when I think that we need to fire our coach. I did it when we had Nick. I said, yeah, we need to fire our coach right now. Trust me. I will tell you, I'm not so blind and just such a company man that I'm just going to go with Darko, whatever he does. If we get to a really weird, fucked up place, I'm going to say, yeah, our coach is done, y'all. I'll say it. But y'all are way too early to do this shit. And you have no patience. And it's not productive. It's toxic. So hold your tongue, Molly Weir. is what I'll say on that one. Yeah. Blackhawk saying, Lex, not all criticism is coming from external sources, aka other fans. There is something called instant gratification, and we're not immune to it. Some of it is hard to hear, but some of it has merit. Bullshit. Bullshit, Neil. Bullshit. Instant gratification is ridiculous, first of all, in the NBA, because instant gratification doesn't build championships. How long did it take the Nuggets to get their core to the championship? They were together for years and years. That's the thing we got to understand. Jamal Murray and Jokic didn't just become champions overnight. They busted their ass through the Western Conference to get there. So instant gratification, the Raptors fans that want that, well, fucking go do something else with your life. Go do some other video game where you can get instant gratification from playing it yourself, is what I say to that. We're not immune to it. Well, try not to be. Maybe we're being conditioned by the powers that be to have instant gratification, or we're feeling hollow and empty inside. Maybe we need to go meditate. Maybe we need to go touch grass and sit outside and get touch base with what really matters in life. That's what I'd say to those people. And listen, criticism. Okay, what is the criticism? Well, what the fuck? I would say what I said earlier. You go and do the job instead of him, and you do a better job. That's what I say. You go and do the job yourself, the people that want to criticize Darko. And will you do that job any better? No, you won't. You fucking fail left and right. And that's what I'm saying. People don't understand how much of a pressure cooker and how hard it is to be an NBA coach. It's real good and easy for everybody to talk shit about them and think that they know what they're talking about, but they don't. And they have no idea the pressure cooker that job is. And they're not helping things. Their little criticisms are not things that these people do not understand or know already. It's not like you're illuminating the light on the big secret to solve the problem. No, you're not. Because in first place, it's unnecessary. They understand basketball way better than any of us. That's why they work in the NBA. And that's why they're coaches on that staff. And in some ways, the things that some of these people are pointing out are obvious and they already know, and they don't need you to tell them. How about that? And sometimes half the time people are criticizing the coach, and it's the players that didn't execute what the coach wanted them to do. And if they'd done what the coach wanted, you wouldn't have a criticism. So there's all kinds of different forces in this. And honestly, it's not that it's hard to hear. It's just unnecessary to hear. How about that? It's unnecessary to hear. It's not like they're helping. They have the magic silver bullet that's going to solve all the Raptors' problems. Molly Weir or all these criticism people that are around social media. No, they don't have any of the answers. They really don't. In some ways, I would say, all right, maybe this technique would work in this and this. But once again, I'm not going to have any choice on whether they're going to do it or not. I have no power in this. So I have to give it up to my higher power and say, I will hope the Raptors will execute and Coach Darko will make the best possible decisions at all times. That's how you root for your team. That's how you root for your team right there. Nako's saying, Kyle once said, you're better to be blown out. And I don't mean it like that. For me, it stinks because you can't get away from the fact that you were close, even if there's a lot of good from the game. I know what you're trying to say, Gerald, but it doesn't apply to this game last night. This is a very different kind of close loss. This is a very, very different one. In some ways, if we were a team that's expected to win, then it would matter more. But this is not. This is not. This is a team that lost to a championship core that has done very well over the last few years. Cool Cat saying, take the positive year one of rebuilding, and we are having exciting games with great teams, speed and aggression. Love to see it. Well, there's one thing that's overwhelmingly being said on Twitter and different places last night, that this was fun to watch, that the game was entertaining, that I actually really enjoy watching Raptors games right now. I mean, I enjoyed it in the arena. And in some ways, like even after the game when we lost, it wasn't the normal, like I'm pissed off and I'm so angry kind of energy out of me. I was like, you know what? This is what it's supposed to be right now. This is a learning process. And I wasn't that mad after I left the game. And normally in a game like this, if it went down exactly like this, and it was the old crew with Fred and Pascal, I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed. But I'm an intelligent fan that understands where we are in our franchise right now. So I'm like, yeah, this is just par for the course and what we need to do right now to get back to where we were before. And that's just how it is. There, Carlos saying this is why we need Lex in this space. So many content creators spewing unwarranted negativity. Yeah, it's just not helpful. It's not necessary. If you want clickbait, you want to get more clicks, you want more subs, you want to engage people with anger, go ahead and do that. But the Raptor Streaks know there's a sanctuary called this channel there you can go to, and we can talk about this intelligently for the team without denigrating it and putting it down. And that's what I'm saying right there. Yeah, Andrew's saying we should chill on comments or else Lex will be here until 2. The longest I ever did, Andrew, was 5 hours. I did a 5 hour stream like 2 years ago because I didn't have any kind of cutoff. It was crazy. It was part of the reason why I had to start the cutoff. But yeah, we're just over 3 hours right now. Thank you for the cutoff again, guys. Trevor saying, I do not like those guys from Basketball Rewind. They are so negative. I guess it's only Raptors haters listen to them. You know, Kenyon can be very negative, and they're kind of the action we're talking about right now with Molly and beyond. Very critical. They feel like they know what they know better, and that's the thing. They come in like that, and that's the thing that turns me off from them. Coach Roach is a good guy. Coach Roach can be critical of the team, but at least sometimes when Coach Roach is making a criticism, he's talking about it from an X's and O's point, and maybe not like, because some people just make dumb comments like, I hate Darko because he's ugly or something like that. They personally don't like him. That's part of the problem. Some of the people talk about people like Jakob or whoever on our team because they don't, for some reason, they just rub them wrong, or they're like, I don't like that guy. I think that was a lot of the Fred hate. Was a lot of the Fred VanVleet hate was that some people just didn't like Fred, like his personality and how he carried himself. It wasn't that they hated how he played or anything he did. They just didn't like him as a person. And that's where there's an issue with like being critical just for the sake of being critical because you don't like him. Sure, I didn't like Malachi Flynn, but I gave him a good chance for a long time and I tried to talk him up. But when I realized he was a lost cause, I went in on him. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was supportive though for a long time about him. I was like, yeah, I hope he does better. I really wish that Malachi could get going and be a real true point guard for us, but it wasn't to be. And then when that happened, well, yeah, I went in on him then. You guys got to just pick the right times and right places for different things like this. And you guys are way ahead of going after people like Scotty or Darko or RJ or whoever. It's like, why? What's the point? Thank you. Once again, she wants me to rest. That's right. Beyond is one of them. That's right. And Stargate saying at Lex, Bill Kennedy is the best ref in the league, bar none. Love the guy. Tyler Ford is another great ref. There's a couple of refs that are really good. Diedrich Taylor is another ref I really like. There's a few refs that are really high on my list as far as great refs that right down the middle. And they honestly, this is the thing. The reason why I like these guys is they're blind to this whole bias against the Raptors. They really do call it right down the middle, and we get a fair call from a lot of these refs. Some of these other refs are like American exceptionalism, George W. Bush, America, and they're the ones that screw us over. But there's open-minded refs like Bill Kennedy, Tyler Ford, Diedrich Taylor, that actually are very fair and right down the middle with us. And that's why I respect those guys, because those are real refs, because they're blind to who's playing and they're calling it right down the line. And that's the ones we love. That's the ones we love. Kareem saying Jamison Battle is a better shooter than Grady Dick, but Dick is a better overall player. I can't be the only one who thinks this, right? That's not, I don't know. I feel like we haven't seen enough of Battle yet to make these kind of assumptions for sure. I think that Grady's exploded as a player this year already, and he is so multidimensional at this point. But it looks like Battle has some growth to be multidimensional himself, which is very surprising and awesome. He's bigger than I thought he was. He's like 6'7", and he actually does pretty good on the rebounds, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. Neil's saying Darko and RJ are echoing the same thing because they can't say anything else, aka saving face. Well, why are you coming at them? Are you the Warren Commission? Do you have to come and investigate them? Why don't we just let them say and take their word? If they're together on this, that's good. That's what I'm saying. It's all good for coach to back up the player, but the coach should not get carried away with it. I don't see this as this. I don't see this as this. Darko could have called the timeout. He made the decision not to, and RJ did this. I mean, seriously, the action of what you're saying, Neil, seems like you're trying to get them in trouble. It's like a little kid. You want to see what he did wrong. You're looking for what he did wrong. What did they do wrong? Why do you have to look for what they did wrong? It's just events happen on the court. They went the way they did, and they didn't work out for us. It's like we don't need to play the blame game. That's the other thing Raptors fans are always wanting to do. Let's blame a blame game. Blame game. They lost. It hurts my feelings, so I have to blame someone. You don't have to blame anyone. We can just say that we got beaten by a veteran team in a very close game that we could have won. And that's all it is. We don't have to blame anyone, Neil. We really don't. And your language in this is like, oh, they're backing each other up and covering each other up like bad cops out there covering each other's criminal activity, being cops that are fucked up. That's what I'm saying. That's right. It's just a gamble that didn't work. Exactly. It's just a gamble that didn't work. Smooth saying most of the Raptors YouTubers were crying for a rebuild. Guess what? It's here. And this is what it looks like. Deal with it. Boom goes a dynamite. Smooth Brown Man, you're going to dunk. Because that's just exactly what it is. Y'all wanted this. You got it. And, well, we got to sit in it, and we got to just live through it. and we're gonna enjoy it. Honestly, I enjoy this stuff because honestly, the pressure to win, like the Celtics have right now to repeat, is very intense. And Celtics fans could get way more twisted up and emotional over losses than I am this year. In some ways, a lot of the pressure to be emotionally attached to whether we win or loss is off. And if people are still working through their emotions and get in those kind of ways, just stop. Seriously, 57 dunks for Smooth on the dunk chart. Seriously, just stop, y'all. That's part of what's feeding the criticism and the angriness and all this stuff. It's like, oh, did they hurt you that they lost in overtime last night? Did they really hurt you? No, Scotty got hurt. He busted his face. He got really hurt. You didn't get hurt. You got to entertain by a good game that was very fun to watch, even if we didn't win. So what the fuck is wrong with people? Is what I say to them. What is wrong with them? Nago saying that Kareem Grady shoots the three more and Battle's percentage isn't that much better. I'd say Grady's the better shooter, not to talk down Battle. I don't think, once again, we don't have to compare and contrast these guys. And once again, Jamison Battle has just played 4 games. We don't know enough about him to say anything. Seriously. Blackhawk saying, sorry, Kareem, you're the only one. Battle hasn't got the full NBA experience. I'll stick with Grady. Yeah, in some ways, once again, I'm so glad that there's a hierarchy and that we do things that way in the NBA, where your vets that are more experienced should be playing and getting those times, and the young people will learn and they'll get in their spots eventually. There's a succession plan with players, and Grady is ahead of Battle in that succession plan, even if Jamison Battle is older than Grady Dick. He is. He's older than him. So, but Grady has more NBA time on a court. So I mean, these are the things that matter, guys. They really do. They really do. Mo's saying, I won't likely make it to the Raptor Freak crew meetup in Mississauga. That's too bad, Mo. I know you need time to get it set up. And that's why I kind of wanted to make it ahead a while, like over a month, just in case you did want to go so you can make your arrangements. But it's all good. We'll have you there in spirit, obviously, and we'll miss you. And I wish you could come. But I understand also. That's right. Blackhawk saying, Mo, y'all were meeting up without me. Sending you a hug, Mo. Neil. We're gonna go to the 905 game in Mississauga, 2:00 on December the 8th against the Westchester Knicks. We're gonna be there for a 905 game. We're gonna do that for our first Raptor Freak get together. I hope you come. Maybe you can bring your daughter again. That'd be awesome. And come to the game and enjoy the game with us, man. That'd be really cool. Smith saying Walker might be with the 905 for 5 games for a game conditioning and such. He could be there for 2 games and that's it. I think if he goes there and he proves that he's way above any of the level there, then he should not be there that long. But if he's flourishing and he's learning and it's good for him, he could be there the whole season too. I have an open mind to the level of what Jacoby Walter is going to do in 905 this year. Whether it's just 1 game, maybe it's the same amount of games as Grady, which was about 12 games last year. We'll just have to see. I would say Grady is a good template from last year for what we possibly might do with Jacoby Walter in the 905 this year. Let's see. Blackhawks also saying, okay, and yeah, we got to get that cutoff for sure, guys. Wow. Mike is here too. Hang on, where is it? Oh crap. Okay, I'm not even there. Okay, here it is right here. The only way Scotty gets a call from Jokic encounter is different. He was bleeding. Thank God he wasn't bleeding. I mean, the refs should see if somebody falls to the ground, they should be calling a whistle. I'm sorry. It may be that there was too much flopping in this league, and that's why there's a boy cry wolf, and they don't believe players anymore. But in any kind of just basketball situation at any level, high school, college, or whatever, if somebody's on the floor holding their face, there should be a whistle. And I guess the NBA just doesn't believe people for what they're doing anymore because there's been so much acting in this league by people. Well, Scotty's not acting, even though the Denver announcer said that he was trying to sell a foul. That's not selling. You think he's an idiot? He's not going to get back on defense and try and stop them or allow a 4-on-5 situation? No, he's not. He was down there for real. Blackhawk saying we need to start betting on RJ's. Well, I want him to get them. They need to start giving him free throws is what it is. Everyone's saying you switch Grady out on the defensive end and put in Mo. Mobo is one of our best perimeter and inside defenders, even though he's raw. You get experience by being in those pressure situations. We will get the next game. Let's go Raps. There you go. That's the right attitude. If not, we disagree a little. That's definitely the right attitude. I still don't trust Mobo in overtime against the Nuggets. I'm sorry. I just don't. Especially when the people he's matching up against all have rings and they've been playing together for like 7 or 8 years or something like that. So it's like he's going up against Gordon, Porter, and Jokic. And Mobo's had 3 games in the NBA. You've got to listen to me, Infamous. Seriously. I'm in a pocket. I'm in pocket unless you've been a fan before the team first. Don't come for me. I was a fan before some of you were born. Listen, I don't want to argue with you or fight with you. I'm just saying there's no reason to criticize the rotation decisions by Darko last night. He did what he did. He didn't play Bruno. A lot of people were probably happy about that. He did play Jonathan for times, but getting mad at Darko for not playing Jonathan Mobo in the overtime, that's ridiculous. I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. And I won't question your fandom. I believe you're a real one. I know you're a real Raptor freak. That's what I'll say right there. Neil saying Stargate, Molly actually likes Darko. She just has a high standard for coaching, which Darko is not exempt from. Now, see, I just don't get that either. I'm not trying to be this person with Darko. You have to jump as high as I want you to. Fuck that. Her high standards. Who the fuck is her to have high standards like this shit? Like, seriously, what has she accomplished on a basketball court? That's what I say. The same thing that Fred VanVleet would say. If you've never played basketball at the level I play, I don't listen to your opinions. And I don't give a shit what you have to say. And Fred's exactly right. It's like he doesn't go tell his professional football friends that play in the NFL how to fucking play the NFL. So why the fuck would Molly Weir tell Darko how to coach in the NBA? It's not like she has the credentials or the experience for knowing what the fuck she's talking about to be holding a high standard for Darko. The audacity and the ego of some of these Raptors Twitter people. Seriously, who the fuck is she? Would she ever won anything on any level in any way in basketball? If she has, well, come correct me. Because I've never heard of any Molly Weir in the WNBA. I've never heard of her in any kind of collegiate level. I don't know who the fuck she is. She's just some girl with a computer to me. Shit, she's the same as me. I'm just a guy with a computer. She's just a girl with a computer. And I'm not the one that's trying to hold standards for Darko on this and this. I'm allowing the Raptors to be who they are and to grow naturally and to succeed over time on their schedule and the way they are. So, yeah, her having higher standards for the team, she's acting like she's helping the team. No, you're not. You're just a little bitch is what you are. Yeah, it's like, seriously. I don't mean to be profanity, but in some ways that slipped out just now. Mike's here. Good to see Logical Raptors fanatic showing up at way after the cutoff. The style we're playing is good. I agree with Mike. I like that. Neil's saying some people are more about the game of basketball versus the team versus the players. It's not like she's a basketball savant. Is she Brittany Donaldson? Is she Mary Andrade? Is she on a fucking staff in the NBA? No. Okay, then she needs to shut the fuck up. Seriously. Seriously. Okay, is she some sort of Eric Curry metrics genius or something? No, she's not Kurthika. So she needs to shut the fuck up. Seriously. I'm serious. I'm sick of I've heard the only things I've heard about her have been negative, honestly. I haven't heard her saying anything good about the team. Maybe she does, and I just don't see it. But every time I hear her name, it's always something bad about the team. And I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of people like her. Seriously. Seriously. Mike's saying people are getting better and we're seeing it. People need to chill. Mike is exactly right. Boom goes the dynamite. We're going to give Mike a big, huge 10-pointer, even though he's late, for speaking the gospel, the truth. This is the exact damn truth. People need to fucking chill. And half my channel is y'all chill. This is what I've been saying all day. I say it. That's right. Neil says he agrees the style is good. There you go. There's something we like about Darko. He's building a system that is enjoyable to watch and entertaining, and we may even win more because of it down the road. That's right. Blackhawk saying instant gratification means they expect results now instead of building. Yeah, and those people are idiots, and they need to fucking fuck off for the season. Seriously. Don't watch the Raptors this year. People that only care about winning, because it's not going to happen this year. I'm just going to be straight up with you. I will be honest about it. I don't think the Raptors are going to win a whole lot this year. And y'all need to just shut the fuck up if you're all about winning first, because that's not what this year's about. Mike's saying if you want good players and good team, you got to build it, because no one is giving away good players. They are keeping them. Exactly. And we got a fresh crop of really, really awesome young players. Now, let me turn this around and say this. Our coach is like our players. He's a young coach in development just like them. And the process of leveling up Darko is similar to leveling up Jamal Shed. And if we're going to give bright spots to Jamal Shed, Jonathan Mobo, and Jamison Battle, well, let's look at the bright spots of what Darko's doing as the coach and understand he's going to get better and better as a coach also as the team gets better. So there's a lot to this. There's a lot to this on different levels. And I'm telling you, everything I'm seeing about Darko is top notch as far as keeping the team together, keeping the team playing hard, having very good interactions on the court with the referees and the players, and keeping things organized. He doesn't seem like he's over his head. Does he seem like he's out of his element? Does he seem like he's not understanding what he's supposed to be doing out there? Does he seem like a fraud? Does he seem like somebody that cannot walk the sidelines at an NBA court and coach a team? No, he doesn't. And that's the thing that's so maddening to me is there's our coaches that come in this league and they have no business being out there and they are frauds. And Darko has none of that kind of energy around him. And there's so many different levels of this that some people just have the ideal in their head. Oh, this would be ideal if the Raptors just went 82-0. Yeah, it'd be ideal, but it's not realistic. I mean, seriously, it's crazy. It's crazy. Let's see. Nako's saying Celtics fans criticize the fuck out of both Udoka and Mazzulla. Both of them got a lot of respect in the league now. I don't know what your point is, though. I don't care about Celtics Nation. I criticized the hell out of Joe Mazzulla, too, and went into those comment section. Joe's no good. Joe's no good. Maybe some of the Celtics fans heard me, and they echoed me. I mean, I don't understand what you're trying to say here, Nako. As far as, like, that didn't make them better coaches, the criticism. They're better coaches because they're good coaches. It's not like social media is like a cauldron of fire where they form the iron to steel and make it formed in fire. No, they don't matter. They're unnecessary noise that just doesn't have anything to fucking do with anything. Coach Mazzulla is a good coach because he's just a good coach. It's not like the Celtics fans criticized him into being a good coach. Doesn't make no fucking sense. Seriously. Blackhawks saying nothing any of us say or do is helping or harming things. The front office is the front office. No, that's not true. That's not true. And I know it isn't true because we have a say in things. They love our channel. Seriously. They watch us. They all watch us. The broadcast crew's watching us. The front office is watching us because we're unsolicited, free comment card for them and what they're doing at all times. In some ways, they love the Raptor streak because they're getting so much of our opinions in a condensed place where they can hear it and they know who we are as passionate, real fans from day one. So they're going to listen to us in some ways. Then you may be surprised. There may be things we say on here and they may be like, you know what? Maybe Brandon Carlson isn't strong enough to play in the NBA because he's not got enough muscle on him. And boom, all of a sudden they switch a two-way to Jamison Battle. Partly because on the Raptor Freak channel, they were like, man, Battle's so good. He shouldn't. I mean, they see it too, but it doesn't hurt that the fans are reinforcing in their opinions in certain places. So don't get it twisted. People get pitchforks and torches for our coach. Sometimes it comes true. In fact, some people might say the final nail in the coffin for Nick Nurse and his coaching career in Toronto was the fans turning on him and coming after him like we did on this channel. And it wasn't going to be able to be going forward with Nick Nurse as our coach. So don't get it twisted. The fans have more power than you think, Neil. And if we collectively make opinions known as a group, it can make them make decisions in the front office. Trust me. It really can. Terrence Davis got traded out of this team partly because he had an assault and battery charge with his girlfriend. And a lot of the really woke Raptors fans came out in droves and said, we do not want this guy playing for our team. So all of a sudden, Terrence Davis, a rookie that we drafted, was traded to the Sacramento Kings. So don't get it twisted. We have more power than you think. And as a whole, that's why I don't like people like Molly Weir and other people saying shit, because they start little sparks, little fires that can get to burning out of control in bad ways. Trust me. Trust me. I know I had a piece in the nail of the coffin of Nick Nurse's. Because if they came and heard me around that time, I would tell them he gave up on us and they needed to fire his ass. Well, they did. They did fire him. In some ways, it's like some people were like, why the fuck did the Raptors fire Nick Nurse? Well, we knew and we were calling for it. So don't get it twisted, Neil. We have more power than you think, man. We have more power than you think.
Yeah, that was a real fun game to watch for sure. At least we all agree on this. I love like going back and forth, you guys. It's all love and family. Seriously, Infamous, Kareem, Neil, anybody that I haven't been exactly on the same page with. It's fun. And this is how we figured it out. The fans didn't get Adoka fired. His actions did that. That's for sure on that case. Oh, yeah. They didn't want that to happen. In fact, that made Brad Stevens cry. It's like, oh, I was going to have him. Oh, oh. And they may have got the championship a year earlier if that hadn't had happened. You know, I'm telling you, in some ways. But that in that case, that's for sure. But Nick Nurse, in some ways, him getting fired was partly because the fans wanted him fired. Don't get it twisted. Seriously. Blackhawks saying we are all talking in a vacuum because owners don't hang around the fans. Front office can intermingle with fans, but respect has to be mutual. I'm going to tell you this right now, Neil, and you were at that party, but you showed up late. I was sitting across from the personal assistant of Masai Ujiri at Monique's birthday party, and she knows who we are. And you don't think that she went back to the office and told Masai that there's a channel called the Raptors Freak and that they can come and watch us and see what we're saying? You don't think that Kimberly did that? Because I'm pretty sure she did. She took my number. You weren't there yet. You came late. You came with your daughter. But there was somebody from Masai's front office, his assistant, sitting in because she's friends with Monique. And I met her and she was very aware of our channel. So why do you think she's going to come into work one day and say, hey, Masai, I was at a Monique Superfan's birthday party and I met this guy. He's very interesting. He has a channel. So don't get it twisted. They know about us. Seriously. And what you say here is going to get heard somewhere. You can say we're in a vacuum, but that's not true. I know it isn't. I know it isn't. And I know that they're listening because some of the times in the broadcast, Matt and Jack are echoing shit we're saying in the morning. And it's not just this, it's weird sometimes. Like they may get some of their talking points for the broadcast from listening to our morning stream. Seriously. I'm not lying. I'm serious. And they may like us the best because we are the positive fans and we are the real ones for them. And they're like, wow, I'm not going to watch Beyond and them on Basketball Rewind because they're just talking shit and they don't know what they're talking about. But Raptors Streak, these guys are real fans. And they actually are talking about in some constructive, positive ways about some things. You may be shocked. You may be actually shocked how much power the Raptor Freak family has in the Raptors world at this point. Seriously. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. I think Leo Routens, in some ways, he puts his life tips out on weird times because he knows I'm reading them. I'm serious. I'm serious. Mike's saying Grady's movements shooting is way rarer than Battle's skill set. Oh, yeah. No, if we're making an argument who's better, and we don't need to do this, Grady is better. Grady's a top pick in the lottery. Jamison Battle is an add-on after the draft. It didn't even get drafted. Let's not get like this is silly. You guys talking about how Battle might be better than Grady. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy. Cut off. Thank you once again. And we're at 3.5 hours. Let's go. Carlos saying, unfortunately, social media made it possible for fans and narratives to affect the team now. This is true. This is true. It can get out of hand, and people are trying to do crazy shit, like that crazy rumor about RJ Barrett and the gay lover recently. There's all kinds of crazy, fucked up shit that's happening where it's like warfare. In some ways, the social media aspect of NBA is a warfare at this point, and this being weaponized in different weird ways. Trust me. And that's part of the reason why I milked this channel is because I wanted to be in the fight on the good side and the right side for our team. Seriously. Blackhawks saying, how does what I say get the players in trouble? That doesn't make sense. They speak one language, so I'm not surprised by their answer. December 8th, I will mark it on the calendar. Awesome. I hope you come, Neil. Seriously, it'll be so much fun to see you again. I just explained that part right there. Don't get it twisted. These guys are watching us. I know Scotty's watched us too. I know he has because obviously we're in the Twitch stream. He's here in Raptor Streak all the time. He's like, oh, I'm going to go check it out. And one day he told me, Scotty said to me on Twitch, he said, Raptor Streak, I seen that you're using my video on your channel. I should get some money from you for that. He was joking, but he just gave away that he's watching me. And in fact, one day he said to me on Twitch, he said, Raptor Streak, I thought you weren't going to come and watch me on Twitch anymore. You said that. I said, where did I say that? I said that on my channel. Holy fuck, Scotty is watching us. So don't get it twisted. You might be shocked to see who's actually watching us and coming in and checking on us from time to time. And they may not even be here live. They may be checking us later on the replay. Seriously, don't get it twisted. We're out there. Anybody can watch my channel. It doesn't matter. It's out there. It's public. That's right. Most saying, unless I talk to Courtney Charles about that game, we'll see, but I doubt it. Well, if you can't get it all put together and finagled this quickly, we understand, Mo, but hopefully we'll get to see you at the next Raptor Freak get together, no matter what it is.
How about that? And it'll probably be sometime in 2025 in the second half of the season. Yeah. Yeah. I did think about doing one of the 905 games in the schoolyard games, but those games are during the week and they're not as easy for people who work to come and go to one of the 905 games at Scotiabank Arena. And I don't even know if those tickets are actually available to the public. They're just for kids to go down there for good rewards and attendance and report cards, shit like that. That's right. Nago's saying Darko's schemes are probably a little ambitious at times for the team, but I'd rather teach this team to run than walk. Darko has and is doing just fine. I'm with you on that. That's right. That's right. Juicy saying, welcome to the channel. And this sounds like I don't know if they're a Celtics fan, but maybe a general NBA fan. We all know Brad Stevens built the core of the Celtics, not Joe. That's right. Because honestly, he had to make a substitution. He had the ideal coach he wanted, Udoka, who Tatum and Brown would run through a wall for, and they really loved their coach. They were really upset when he got in that sexual scandal. And, they had to go with the backup plan, which was Joe. But Joe worked out, and he did get that championship for them this year. And this is true. The mastermind, the architect of this team was the coach before Udoka, Brad Stevens, who stepped into the front office and ran things from that level at that point. Yeah, I won't disagree with this. If you're a Celtics fan, you're on point. I work in the realm of truth and reality, and this is true, what he's saying. Stargate saying, oh, they listen. Eric Smith, we know, listens to the channel. Yeah, we did a Share the Love Club for him recently, and he watched it. Omari Moore has watched my channel. He saw the thing we did for him this summer. There's different people coming in here. Jim Sand was aware. So if there's like a couple of coaches and media people that know about us, they all know about us. Trust me. Maybe even Michael Grange knows about how I make fun of him on this channel. He's like, oh, Raptors freak. I can't stand that guy. That guy's so mean to me. Mike saying RJ's passing is looking way better. Not going to lie. See, the other thing is I'm on every day. And they know that I'm here. So it's not something if you drop in every once in a while. I'm so dependable. They know I'm here, so they can come find me whenever they want. They listen to Shep too. I'm sure they do. They probably have a touch. They probably have a hand on most of the main contributors and Raptors social media across the board. And they know the entities that are out there. Because Scott said this recently, and this was really telling to me too, that I know he's with me. He said, listen, I know there's a lot of y'all out there making Raptors content. I just want y'all to be positive and be standing up for us if you are. If you aren't, fuck you. It's basically kind of what he said. It was on Twitch. He's like, I know y'all are out there doing stuff, but I want y'all to speak good of us and stuff like that. So it's like, in my way, I heard it. He knew I was in the room. It's like kind of like him saying, he's like, Raptors Freak, I approve of what you're doing because you're for us and you're not trying to tear us down. So, I mean, that's part of it was saying right there. Let's see. RJ's passing is looking way better, not gonna lie. That's an aspect along with his defense that he can improve on, and he will. He will. That's right. Mike's saying also, it's like Darko says, he's working on something and it gets done. Last year, Darko was saying RJ can touch the paint whenever he wants, but passing and connecting with teammates would be a focus. I'm not worried. That's part of development. In some ways, he wants to unlock New York Knick RJ Barrett into Toronto Raptors RJ Barrett that can do everything. And that's the thing. That's what he's going to do. Grady Dick, we have no idea how much more of an NBA player Grady Dick is at this point because he's on the Raptors with Darko. And what if he was on another team and he got drafted last year and he's going nowhere because he's on the Pistons? These are the things that y'all got. If y'all want to do woulda, coulda, shoulda, let's do that. Let's think about Grady Dick getting drafted to a different NBA team and his year last year of two halves. The first half, very disappointing and trouble. Second half blew up. And part of that may have been the work with Darko developing him as the season went on. I mean, that's not totally out of the realm of possibility. And then his jump at the beginning of this season as a starter, well, the work and the development and the guidance of Darko once again during the offseason with his assistant coach, Evo, hanging out with them in Kansas all summer with him and Oshai. That's what I'm saying, man. I'm not worried either, Mike. And I'm excited. In some ways, there's a lot of good signs from last night, if not the W. That's right. Nako's saying one day I brought up how Philly doesn't have a trade for OG. The next day, Will Lou talked about how Philly didn't have a trade for OG. Yeah, some stuff that's out there that is common knowledge, and we all come to the same conclusion. It's kind of like a good idea could be found by different people around the world separately. And they're like, oh, I have this idea for this internet thing. And somebody else is in California coming up with the same idea. Great minds think alike. Some of that is the phenomena, but it happens so eerily often with Matt and Jack or Matt and Alvin that I'm like, whoa, they're talking about Kawhi in a way that we talked about Kawhi this morning. And in some ways, they don't need to be talking about Kawhi. And then sometimes it's like, okay. And then also the other thing that's so tell to me is Jack Armstrong is starting to try and educate the fans better and better. He may be frustrated because the stuff we're seeing too online and Twitter. He's like, oh, the fans are saying this about Jakob Pertl, but they need to know that Jakob is doing this and this for the team. And he's done that recently. Haven't you heard Jack Armstrong talking up about how valuable Yak is for our team? Well, in some ways, that's a response to people talking trash about Jakob on social media. And that totally makes sense right there. Cool Cat saying, holy smokes, Lex, you're still going strong. I just came back. I know. I went to bed at 4 a.m. and I got up at 9 a.m. and I haven't hardly slept. And I'm still on the stream at almost 4 hours. It's worth it, though. The game was fun, and we're having a very good, lively discussion. Now, I haven't even done everything I need to do real quick. So let's do the Instagram stories real quick before I forget. The Raptors 905 has a training camp roster on their Instagram stories. There's a lot of names there, and we're going to have to cut some of them in the next week or so. And yeah, we're going to have a new 905 squad to watch. And you know what? You want to be win or die? Go ahead and go there, all you win or die Raptors fans. Go to the 905 level and root for them to win every single game like you do with the energy there. That's the best place to do it right now. Because honestly, they should be winning most of their games. And that is the right energy. Tyler Perry, a highlight reel on the 905. You want to check out Tyler Perry. He doesn't make movies. He makes threes. And that's who you got to go check out. Tyler Perry of Kansas State. They have a thing where you can ask the media day questions from 6 hours ago. It's probably too late. Ask them questions. Jamison Battle looking a little tired after playing last night, but he's up early in the morning at the media day, checking in from media day, battle time 10. And there's DJ Carton and Jonathan Mobo on his birthday, taking pictures. They're cheesing. He's pointing at Carton, and there he is playing the little bounce chicken game where he's like makes noises and he jumps and he's like, and he's jumping. Let's see who else we got. Matt Devlin showing the part where he says, RJ kidding me on the Hello and Welcome podcast. And then he said it on the air. That's pretty fun. And Davion Mitchell has an overhead view from one of his friends posting the game, watching him on the court. And he's dapping to, is that one of the security guys? It looks like a security guy. Let's see. Who else do we want to look at? There's the Raptor hitting the drum before the game to get the crowd excited. There he is throwing a ball to a kid. And this kid came out, man, on the court. He could dribble, man. He was killing it. He was doing between the legs. He was doing trick dribbling. And even some of the Nuggets were coming back on the court from timeout. They're like, whoa, look at this kid. Look what he's doing. It's very impressive. He was a plant, obviously. There's the Raptors saying happy birthday to Jonathan Mobo on there. Miles Burns is out in Mississauga taking fancy pictures and doing artsy stuff out in Mississauga right now because he is back in town because the 905 are in training camp. Let's see who else we got. DeMar DeRozan has got a podcast or something called Time to Walk. So something to say, we all go through things, and sometimes that could just be a conversation with a close friend, getting something off your chest, your shoulders, off your heart. That's the beauty of just breaking down and showing vulnerability and showing that I'm just like you. There you go, DeMar. Your work in mental health stuff and awareness is so awesome, and we love you, man. You're a GROAT. You're a GROAT, my guy. SGA with his baby behind the scenes in Oklahoma City. Of course, we're going to cover our guy from Team Canada a little bit. And he's saying that the best player in the world, I guess that's Vinny Jr. And there is Omari Moore. He is actually overseas in EuroLeague. And yeah, he's not going to be playing on 905 this year. I see that nice crossover you got there, Omari, though. Always a 905er, always in our hearts. Omari Moore. There's your Instagram stories for today. Yeah, I talked about Fred getting in Sohan's face. That was pretty cool. Jose did vote today. Let's see if there's anything. Oh, there's a birthday. Yes, Jonathan. We already did that. We did the Raptor rookie rankings or the rookie rankings overall. And I did that too. All right, we're good, guys. All right, thanks for watching. My 3 stars of the game last night, Scotty Barnes, Jakob Pertl, and Ochai Agbaji. Raptors, this close to winning. And next time, if you're in this situation, well, that's what we want to see, progress. If you get in a situation similar to this, we want to see you get the win that time because that'll show progress with experience and learning how to win. And that's the part that we want to know right there. That's right. That's the part we want to know right there. Mike Sampertl is looking way better too. He's definitely worth more now. Yeah, I think so. Making the free throws, and in some ways, he's doing different things with his offense around the basket. There's a lot more like coming from further out and driving to the basket so far this season. Mike, have you noticed that? That Jakob is not afraid to like kind of attack the rim
from like maybe like 15, 20 feet out, which is very interesting to me. Cool Cat saying adrenaline is buzzing. It was a great game indeed. Yeah, did you go too? I was there. I went with Adriana. It was a lot of fun. Mike saying people don't know what they want until it happens in sports. That's right, and that's why just let it unfold and enjoy the ride, enjoy the process. I'm not gonna say enjoy the development, enjoy the time of getting better and better. Because in some ways, it's the journey. It's not the destination. I know they always say that, but seriously, Raptors fans, understand this. There's a lot of joy in watching the journey. Trust me, and that's where we're at right now. Yeah. Let's see. Trevor's saying, Lex, it's time to cut off. We need you tomorrow, man. Yeah, and tomorrow I'll do a preview of the Charlotte Hornets game. Hornets coming to Toronto tomorrow. Very winnable game. This is a game where I'll hold a higher standard to them on whether they should be winning or not. This is a game that, yeah, they need to win. And if it's close, they need to outplay them in the end and beat them. So I'll be it's gauging the opponent and what's going on and stuff like that. Cool Cat saying, did Carlson, the slim, tall center, make the 905 with Shamsha? Yes, he did. He is on the 905 roster, and he will be playing with the Raptors 905. That's right. Carlos saying, Coloco now cleared to play. Wow, that news just broke. Well, that's kind of messed up. He's coming to Toronto on Friday. They want to clear him just in time so he can come out and be in front of our guys. They better not play him on Friday. I'm going to say that right now. Lakers, if you play Coloco on Friday, I'm going to have a bunch of middle fingers for Rich Paul. Seriously. That is messed up. Mike saying Pirtle looks faster, and he's definitely putting in the work. He's lighter. He doesn't look as heavy. All right, guys, thanks for watching me today. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And know our voices are heard. And also, yeah, what the fuck? I'm reeling from this Coloco news all of a sudden. I wish Scotty all the best and getting back from hopefully not a very bad injury. And hopefully IQ's back soon. And the Raptors, the future is bright. Let's stop getting on the ledge. Let's stop overreacting. And let's just go for the ride and enjoy the process. I mean, the development. All right, y'all. Let's go Raptors. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I got to go take a nap now. Let's go Raptors.